Hello, hello. How's it going, everybody? My name is Mike, and I'll be your host today on this live show. Not this one. Did I post it? I think I did. 040321. That's not right. Oh, shoot. Screwed up the date on this one. 10/03/21. All right. March 10th, 2021. All right. Okay, so this is it. And I got to copy this link and put this in my live stream description so that people on YouTube can find us. All right. So you can still click on the Leo ball, win this prize. I am letting this spin out. We have a reward pool, and we have half the payouts of this post, which will be paid out in one day. And then I'm going to spin the prize wheel, and we'll see who wins. Now, I would like to talk to you. I'm looking for guests here on Hive Coffee, and I'm actually changing the name of the show. This is now CoffeeTalk, as you can see up here on the top. CoffeeTalk by Hive Coffee. And we're going to have a great conversation while I drink my coffee this morning. You can visit me in the Hive Coffee Discord, where we like to chat about all sorts of interesting things. You can join me here in the interview channel. I'm going to copy a link for you and make sure that this is proper as well. I'm just going to refresh this. And you can see me streaming live for you on LeoFinance. So I'm just going to make sure that this Discord link works because it only lasts for 7 days. Jump on in to our conversation. And don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. I found that 94% of my subscribers, or my viewers, are still not subscribed, and I hear that a lot when I watch other videos. People are always saying, click like and subscribe, and I don't really do that normally because I didn't think that it was that important, but looking at my video analytics, it appears that I do not have people subscribe. I'm having some trouble with my headphone jack. Alright, so have you been following along? Have you been watching what's going on? Well, we now have a brand new platform that's built on the second layer of Hive, and it is called Cub Finance. I'm just going to open up LeoFinance for a moment here because let's go straight to the project leaders. We can talk about Cub Finance. Okay, so this is what Cub Finance looks like when you visit cubdefi.com. You'll see that you have to unlock your wallet. You need to install Metamask. And when you install Metamask, you got to make sure that you're connected to the Binance chain. There's some specific set of instructions that you can follow here at Docs. There's lots of documentation that you can follow along. We've been waiting to see what's going to happen. Initially, they launched a Cub supply of 100,000 tokens on Binance Smart Chain, and slowly it has been rolling out. Now, the Hive Engine Cub tokens that we're all waiting for, those are just tickets. Yes, they're tickets, and you'll be able to claim your Cub by wrapping your Cub and basically putting it onto the Binance Smart Chain. So 2 days ago, when this rolled out, I had to work, and I was exhausted. And when I finally got home and I was looking at it and trying to walk through the steps, my brain was tired, and I was like, I have to figure this out tomorrow. So I went to sleep, and that was a big mistake because, well, a lot of things changed in one night. Obviously, the first people to the party are going to be able to check it out and see what it's all about. And I waited another 12 hours. I woke up with a clear head, and I thought, okay, today I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to set up my MetaMask and walk through the steps. And it took me all day. I would say another 12 hours. Not entirely, but over the next 12 hours, I took it step by step, walking through each part, making sure that I knew what I was doing, step by step. And I went into the Discord channel, and I talked to the fantastic community members in LeoFinance, and they were able to help me out a lot. And there's a couple things you need that you might not think you need when you're going into doing this, right? So I have a couple friends I'm going to try and help through this today, and if they jump into the Hive Coffee Interviews chat, they can join me here. Or if you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you visit LeoFinance and check it out. Make sure you sign up for an account right now. Get yourself an account, power up some Hive, stake some Leo, learn all about this ecosystem that we have here. So, what is Leo? Well, Leo is a native token built on the Hive engine. It is a Hive engine-based token, but you can now wrap it and put it on Ethereum. So you can take your Leo and you can wrap it into WLeo, and then it'll exist on Ethereum. Now Ethereum's okay. Ethereum has its positives and negatives, but let's say you have some Ethereum and you want to put it into Cub. So how do you do that? Well, take your Ethereum tokens, convert them into WLeo, then take your WLeo and unwrap it and put it back on Hive. Then take your Leo tokens and wrap it into BLeo and put it on Binance. And this process of unwrapping and wrapping tokens is kind of complex, and if you've never done anything like this, or you've never used Ethereum, or you've never used Binance, this might be totally over your head and super confusing. I know it was for me, but taking it one step at a time, following the instructions, asking for help, and when you send a transaction, send a small transaction first. Don't send $100 all at once. You know, send $1 and see if that works. And if it does work, repeat the steps and send a little bit more. The worst stories are when people say, "Oh no, I lost all my money because I sent it all in one big transaction." But if you don't know that it's going to make it there, don't send all of it at once. You know, that's all I'm trying to say. So Leo is getting burned now. Okay, so in this document by LeoFinance posted yesterday, it says that Cub Finance generates revenue via vault burns. Most BSC yield projects take a cut from the development team for every token burn. Instead of doing that, instead of taking a cut, LeoFinance is going to burn 100% of the vault revenue. What? 80% of all the revenue in the vaults buys Cub and burns it. And then 20% of all the vault revenue buys and burns Leo. Why would they do this? Well, this is for price support. This is to destroy tokens, making the rest of them more valuable. Now, the way this works is that tokens are being created, and when you create tokens, potentially that would devalue the token, which is why we have to burn it. So there is a lot of burning going along. There's a lot of reinvestment going along. I'm just looking at this from an outside perspective, but I did manage to wrap some Leo yesterday, and then I managed to participate in this whole project. So let's take it one step at a time. I'm just reading through the LeoFinance document right now, making sure that my live stream is streaming, making sure that my Hive Coffee chat is working. Take this link on Hive Coffee, and I'm going to paste this not only into the Hive Coffee chat, but I'm also going to paste this on my channel. So what gives Cub value, according to LeoFinance and the Cub roadmap? there are some long-term ideas that are coming. Being able to simply move assets from Hive to Binance, or to be able to move assets from Binance to Hive, that's quite the feature. You know, being able to move assets from Ethereum to Hive and then back to Ethereum, that's a huge asset as well. But being able to do both and go through one chain into another chain, like, that's fairly complex. That's quite exciting. And a drop like this has never really been done. So this is how you do it. Once you have your MetaMask wallet all set up and you know that it's going to work properly, enter your wallet address right here. Okay? Click submit. It's going to ask you how much you want to send. So say, 100 Hive, or 100 Leo, because we're talking about Leo here. And then it'll ask you what your username is. Now, if you have your key signer all set up with your account, then it'll probably pull up key signer. If you don't, then it'll use Hive signer, and you'll be able to log in to the account that you typed the name of, and then it'll initiate a transfer. And within a few minutes, you're going to see your Leo appear in your Binance BEP20 wallet, and you're going to have B Leo, which is pretty cool. This is what I spent all day yesterday figuring out. And I hope that with all the amazing tutorials that are out there today, you'll be able to find some answers as well. So basically, the B Leo is Leo wrapped on Binance. Cub is another Binance token, but there are also Hive Engine Cub tokens that will be issued at some point this week. And once you have those, you're going to be able to wrap and import the Cub tokens to claim the Binance Cub tokens. And that's what we're all waiting for right now. This is what the excitement is about today. We are waiting to see how the next phase rolls out. But there are things you need to do. Okay, you're going to need some BNB token. You're going to need some BUSD token. You're going to need maybe some Ethereum so that you can move ERC20 tokens. There is some preparation, some setup that you need to do, and I think that's why this is taking a little while, because people need to prepare themselves. They need to play with Metamask for a whole day, basically. Get comfortable with it. Have you wrapped any B Leo yet? So, like I said, there's lots of documents. There's probably a ton of posts, but check out LeoFinance itself. LeoFinance.io/@LeoFinance. This account posts some awesome information, and if you want to follow along, this is where you do it. Now, if you go to the created page, I'm certain that right now you're going to see a ton of posts about Cub. Oh, look, there's me. Watch Hive Coffee Live, streaming this afternoon, March 10th, 2021. I'll have to update the thumbnail. Hey, thanks for commenting Leo Ball, Rob. You have an entry into the Leo Ball. Just make sure that you click here and you also upvote this post. Give it your upvote. And oh, look, you did that as well. Good job, Rob. You got 2 entries on this week's Leo Ball prize. So half the payout of this post will be paid out to the winner of the prize wheel. Alright, so here's a Cub claim drop post in French. Check. I can translate it using Google. So the claim drop is coming. We're going to have a week. Oh yeah, okay, so we're only going to have 7 days to claim your Cub. So when you get your Cub, make sure you go through the steps right away. Don't wait a week. Next week you may not be able to do this. There's, like I say, there's lots of great instructions. So make sure that you take your time to read I believe that you get 1 cub per 1 Leo power that you had at the time of the snapshot. Yeah, this is just me streaming on LeoFinance while I drink coffee and curate. Liquid Hive is up to 5%, 5.47%, which means there's 358,000 Leo tokens available, which is actually a good thing because, well, we all need more Leo so we can draft it and send it to be Leo. So, you know, there's like 30 Leo available liquid per active user. But there are going to be so many new people, and you can get involved in this Cub DeFi project right now. Even if you don't have any Cub, you can import your B Leo and you can sell that for Cub. Bet you didn't know that. I'm watching for new posts because that's what we do here. Fight Club. The first rule of Fight Club is Fight Cub is you don't ask about airdrop. The second rule, you keep refreshing pages. That is clever. Yeah, we're all waiting. We're all waiting for the drop. You're not alone. If you're confused, you're not alone either. It's a learning curve. But challenge yourself to learn something new every single day. That's what I say. If you're not learning something new, you're not growing. You should always try to do things that are difficult, but you've never tried something new every single day. That's what I say. If you're not learning something new, you're not growing. You should always try to do things that are difficult, but you've never tried something new every single day. That's what I say. I'm just checking my volume. If you're not learning something new, you're not growing. You should always try to do things that are difficult, but you've never tried something new every single day. What minute are we at now? 22 minutes. That's what I said. Testing. I'm just checking. You're not learning something new, you're not growing. You should always try to do things that are difficult. Hello. Okay, can you hear me now? I'm just doing a quick mic check because we're 22 some minutes in and not growing. You should always try to do. Hello. Okay, can you hear me now? I'm just doing a quick mic check. That's much better. Okay. The music is just too loud. Put it down to like 3%. Maybe 5%. Because we're 22 minutes in and some feedback would be great. Try to do. Just turn this down a little bit here. Why is it so loud? So I thought I had all these levels worked out, but apparently my volume is super loud. Alright, we'll try this out. Hello. So I thought I had all these levels worked out, but apparently my volume is super loud. Is that better? Alright, we'll try this out. Hello. Testing 1, 2, 3. Is anybody watching? I hope that you get a chance to pop in here sometime. Have a chat with me. Join me in the conversation. I thought I had all these levels worked out, but apparently my volume is super still too. That's a bit better. Is that better? Alright, we'll try. If you're watching, I hope that you get a chance to pop in here sometime. Alright. Cub Finance. Alright. So I've got a little bit of Cub coming in now. I can harvest, but the fee is going to be more than this 40 cents. So watch that. You can't claim too often. This isn't your Hive power. You can't just go into your wallet like you do on Hive and claim every 10 seconds, because you're going to be paying 50 cents every time you click that harvest button. So much like the game Trailer Park Boys on your phone, if you've played that game, it says basically screw off for a little while, and when you come back to the game, you've won a bunch more fun money. But yeah, here on Hive, you can click your Hive power pending rewards claim, and you can hit confirm, and there is no fees. Yes, no fees. So you can basically power up your Hive, you can curate, you can author content, and every week you can just claim your rewards, and they come in, you can claim them, you can stake them again, turn it into more Hive power, turn it into Leo power, whatever you want to do with your rewards. But if you're using Cub Finance, you want to wait until this is over a certain amount, because I'm going to pay this entire amount in Binance fees if I click on harvest. So Wall Street Bets Crypto is tweeting about us now. It's kind of neat. They finally managed to check out our project. And LeoFinance is also tweeting about Cub DeFi quite a bit. You can use the hashtag $Cub or $BeLeo. You can use $Hive, $HBD. What is this link? Oh, it just takes me to Cub DeFi. Telegram. I'm not so big on Telegram. But you can join the Hive Coffee Discord chat here if you'd like to have a conversation with me today about Hive, about Leo, about Cub, about any of these have a chat awesome things that are in development fees. So I'm just going to read the titles of some of the most popular posts on LeoFinance today. These are probably all going to be about Cub, but there's nothing wrong with that. Cubba-lubba-dub-dub by Edicted. He posted this 22 hours ago, and I voted on that when it was posted. New Adventures in DeFi by Ab12345. My Experience in Cub Finance by Eddie's Pino. I'm in love with Cub Finance. What does your girlfriend think of that? Cautiva's $10,000 Mega Launch Day Giveaway by Artiva's NFT. Cub Finance, what are farms and dens? I'll make sure you check this post out. Give it a read. Check out the Cub DeFi website. Introducing Cub Finance. LeoFinance expands onto DeFi on the Binance Smart Chain. My 24-hour journey in DeFi and Cub Finance. Cub Finance video tutorial on swapping coins, adding liquidity and staking. Cub Finance surpasses $5 million total value locked in under 24 hours. Key Cub metrics after its initial launch. Cub Finance, the one DeFi you can trust. Contest, win 512 Leo. Now that's actually pretty cool. The weekly LBI contest. Newbie guide to Cub Finance with BLeo and BNB. Coming soon, Hive sidechain. It's not much. Cub scrambling. Cub-a-lubba-dub-dub. Cub Finance update for both SPI and LBI token holders. Puzzle solved. As we wait on the hybrid claim drop, here's what you need to know about the next few months. EDS miners, EDSM, for sale, currently paying out 60% ROI. Stroking Cub. Peter Brandt's new Bitcoin prediction by September. Centralized social media at it again. Here's how Cathie Woods is dealing with the ARK ETF bear market. $1,000% and above farming Cub. LeoFinance spanking new project. LeoFinance creates a bridge from Hive blockchain to Binance Smart Chain. Cub Finance is an example of the value of LBI. Puzzle solved. Back to the polka dot. Cub Finance airdrop info. What does Cub Finance mean for LeoFinance users? BNB breaks out of daily pennant. New adventures in DeFi. LeoFinance, helping to make people wealthy. My experience in Cub Finance. And, there's so many. This will actually never end. It's just going to keep loading. But these are all old posts. And while these old posts are definitely valuable and interesting, I like to hang out on the created page. Because this is our job here on Hive, is to curate the best new content. I'm just reading this myself. You can check it out at leofinance.io/@taskmaster4450. If you want me to read your article on this show, please drop the link in the comments on the LeoFinance post for this live stream. That's watch Hive Coffee Live this afternoon, March 10th, 2021. Here I am streaming live. Just skip to the live part so you can follow along. Drop the link and follow these instructions. You can win a prize. Join the Hive Coffee Discord channel. Subscribe to my YouTube. And drop your link here. Right here. Just go read my post. And then drop the link like this. Because this is my post. So this is what I would do. Boom! Drop your latest post in the comments here. And I will read it on the live stream. Like this. Read my post. Alright, so yeah, go ahead. Leave a comment like this. I will read your post. Leave a Leo Ball comment. Rob23, you have 2 entries because you commented on this one. You voted on this one, I believe. Rob. Yeah, there you are. Okay, so you voted on this one, so you are entered once. And you voted on the Leo Ball post as well. Rob, you did. And you left another Leo Ball comment. So Rob, Friendly Moose, Jillian Pierce, Robbie, your names are all going to be on the prize wheel when I spin it again. And I'm going to post another Leo Ball number 5, and I'm going to continue to give away Leo rewards to lucky participants who follow along and watch Hive Coffee live. Get involved in the show. Please join me in the Hive Coffee Discord chat. Join me in the interviews channel, and we can have a conversation about life, the universe, everything, Leo. Let's refresh the created page again and have another look. We're looking for some great content. And right around the 5-minute mark is when you want to vote. At least that's when I try to vote. It's a good time to get some dark energy crystals as the price is low. I imagine that a year from now we're going to see a whole new Hive. We're going to see the Hive engine tokens at whole new levels. We're going to see brand new tokens on the Hive engine that don't even exist right now. And this is probably a good time to play some Splinterlands, since I saw that post and it's good content. So it looks like we have just a few days left until the season ends. Every season you can battle, you can complete quests. The details of the quests are here. If you win 5 battles with the water splinter, you win 1 loot chest. Pirate attack. And I've won 2 battles with water, so I'm going to battle again and try to reach bronze level 3 before the season ends. Have you played Splinterlands? It's one of my favorite games to play. Make a team. So I got 20 mana. 3 are used with my summoner. So I'm gonna put Goblin Mech up front. And we'll use Captain's Ghost. We'll see if this... We'll see how this wins, or how this plays out. See if I win. My breakfast is getting cold as I sit here and live stream. But every day, or almost every day, when I have a chance to sit down in the morning in front of my computer, make some coffee, make some breakfast, stream live on LeoFinance and on YouTube, and we're going to just talk about Hive. I mean, that's the most exciting thing to me. I spent literally all day yesterday figuring out how to use Metamask to import Leo from Hive to Binance Smart Chain. And I even had to figure out how to move funds around so that I could get more BNB tokens, which was tricky. But I did it successfully yesterday, and things are ticking along now, and I'm just waiting for the Cub drop. I think everyone's waiting for it now. Should be at some point today, or tomorrow, or the day after, you know. Whenever it rolls out, I'm not super worried about it. Dark energy crystals for winning that battle. That's pretty cool. And I've got 3 wins under the water quest. So it's time to battle again. If you're watching me live on YouTube, please visit the link to LeoFinance. Make sure you sign up and you leave a comment on my most recent post. Watch Hive Coffee Live this afternoon. Leave a comment for me. Hey, I can see you and hear you. Something like that. If you have beer tokens staked, you can send me a beer. If you have wine tokens staked, you can send me a wine. If you just want to transfer me some funds, you can do that too, simply by going to your wallet and transferring me some funds. I appreciate anything, you know, even those low value tokens. Or if you want to buy me like an index token or something, you can just send me an index token, and then I'm going to get drips of other things, which is pretty cool if you ask me. Now my Splinterlands enemy has been found. I have to make a team before the countdown ends, otherwise it times out. Once again, I think I should probably use... I don't have enough energy. What can I throw up front? We'll sort by mana cost. And health. What can I put up with some decent health? Okay, we'll do that one. Spineback Turtle. And if I can... Prismatic Energy? No. Okay. Instead of Spineback Turtle... No, instead of Prismatic Energy, I'm going to have to do a 7. Captain's Ghost. We'll give that guy a shot again. Bronze 3-star, or shield, or whatever that is, tier. Aha! I did it! Bronze 2, Bronze 3. So I won 5 loot chests. See, if I didn't come in here and do a couple battles, I wouldn't have won anything. Now that's not the water quest. That's just bronze level 3. So I've got 5 chests that I get to open at the end of the season in 4 days. And if I win one more water battle, then I might get another prize. I like to do this while I'm waiting. We are all waiting for the Cub drop on Hive Engine, but take this time to set up your Metamask and move some, wrap some Leo into BLeo. Some BNB for fees and some BUSD for other things, or just also BSD also. Check out Hive Coffee Live. just leaving some helpful comments on an awesome post. I'm going to give it my vote if I haven't done that already. And then I have to get my Splinterlands match matched up. I'm going up against someone who's been playing with red, but I have to play with blue. So that means, well, I'm going up against someone who's going to be tough. So let's start with Goblin Mech, Prismatic Energy, Water Elemental, and I've got 3 mana left and 50 seconds. Pirate Archer is not too bad. Saber Shark, not bad either. Alright, let's give that a shot. Goblin Mech, Prismatic Energy, Water Elemental, Saber Shark, led by Ulrich Stormbringer. Versus... And remember, if I win this match, then I should complete the quest. Oh, 2 Goblin Mechs going up against each other. Etten Spearman, Enchanted Pixie, Elven Cutthroat, Cobalt Miner. Yes. I'm so pumped. I'm on a roll. I mean, I did not have this kind of luck the other day when I was playing. I just kept losing and losing. You can see. Loss. 1 win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. No, actually, I'm not doing too bad, actually. But today, I'm on a roll. 4 in a row. Woo! And I just completed the water quest. So I can claim my reward. I hope. Sometimes you just got to be a little patient. All right. I accidentally clicked away from this the last quest I won. I don't know if I got those. Holy smokes! I just got 194 dark energy crystals. That is cool. Woo! That's not bad at all. I actually like that a lot. Uploads are still not working. Whoa. If you want to know what I just read, check out BroFund, LeoFinance. So right now we're having some issues with image uploading on LeoFinance, but there is a workaround. All you have to do is go over to PeakD and just paste your image in the comments or use the upload, and then you got your link. And you can just paste it. I like to clean up the HTML a little bit. $194 dark energy crystals. That's pretty cool. What does that mean? Well, Leo Dex, and we'll go to dark energy crystals. And how many dark energy crystals was 194 at the current buy of 001. So I basically won 3686 Hive. That's pretty cool. 194 dark energy crystals. Not bad for winning 3 games. I would say not. Won a Splinterlands water quest. There we go. Not bad for winning 3 games today. You know, it doesn't hurt to play. It doesn't. You know, you log in, you get yourself some cards. You know, if you just want to buy a couple custom cards, if you don't have much at all, well, let's go to the market for a second here. Marketplace. Now, we can look at price. Up, I guess. Yeah, so 2 cents. So you could come in here and be like, I want this card, and I'm going to buy it. And you don't have to buy the $6 one. If you want, you can scroll to the very bottom of the list and pick like a 14-cent card. And then you can buy it with dark energy crystals, or with credits, I guess. But dark energy crystals, if you want more dark energy crystals, you can come in here. You can send like 100 Hive, which would be 48,000 dark energy crystals. Or you can send, well, how much is 2,000 dark energy crystals? Is about 4 Hive. And you can buy a pack for 2,000 dark energy crystals. So if you had 5 Hive, that'd be about 2451, which is not bad. So you can use Hive Engine, Tron Trade, or buy dark energy crystals. But you can come in here to the marketplace and you can check out all these cool things. There's lots of brand new cards, different editions. You can, you know, check out the rarities. So common cards, legendary cards. You can check out the most expensive cards.
Hey, Hive Coffee, can you hear me?
Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the live stream. You caught me at a great time. I've just been playing some Splinterlands. And, you know, live streaming on LeoFinance. Did you see the post? Oh, I think I hear you here. Oh, maybe that's what it is. I don't think you're muted. Unmute. Oh, there we go. Hello?
Hey, what's up, man?
I don't know why it was muted. I was having issues yesterday trying to talk to my friends, but maybe that was it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you hadn't given them the permissions in the server or in the channel.
Well, I just clicked unmute right here and it seemed to work. So, how's it going today? What's happening with you?
Well, it's going good. Just transferring my Litecoin into my Hive engine.
There you go. That's the backdoor trick that I had to do yesterday. I was trying to get more crypto into my Metamask so that I could have funds for fees and various things like that. I'm excited for this Cub drop. How about you?
Well, hell yeah. What do you need to get the Cub drop? You need to have Leo staked?
Okay, so however much Leo power you had last week at the snapshot.
None. I had 0.
Okay, that's all right. That's not the only way to get it. But there's a couple things you need to know. First off, the Cub token on Hive Engine is not the actual Cub token.
Yeah.
On the back end, on Binance, they're already building their ecosystem, and they said that it was going to take about 2 weeks before it was fully rolled out. So there's things that we haven't even seen yet that are on there. But the first step, and I basically spent all day yesterday playing with Metamask, going through each step, making sure that everything was being done properly, because I didn't really use Metamask before this. So this is a great educational experience for me and for everybody. And I think everybody out there today is probably going, I'm confused. I don't know what to do. That's how I felt yesterday. My head hurt. I was like, oh, I'm so frustrated, but I don't want to wait.
Yeah.
So what are your impressions overall? What's your first look at this like?
Oh, well, I haven't really really hopped in all the way. Like on the MetaMask Binance thing, I haven't put any liquidity on there. So I'm still a little overwhelmed and out of the loop, I guess.
Okay, so have you set up the Binance chain on MetaMask?
Yeah.
Okay, because that's the first thing is you got to make sure that it's going to connect to the right chain. And when I had a friend send me some BNB tokens, and for some reason it shows up in like there's a BNB with an Ethereum token, and then there's BNB with a BNB token logo. And for some reason, the BNB that I was sent that I've been using for fees, it's showing up in my MetaMask wallet with an Ethereum logo next to it, which is super confusing because it's BNB, it's not Ethereum.
Yeah.
So I don't know why that is. That's the only glitch I've experienced. But you can take Leo from the Hive engine, and you can import it using the tool that they give you to wrap it into BLeo. Once you have BLeo on your MetaMask wallet, you can buy Cub tokens with it.
Okay.
So if you don't have any Cub yet, or you didn't have any Leo power at the time of the snapshot, you can still get Cub by importing your Leo and then buying the Cub on the platform, or on the Cub DeFi. Now, I have nothing to do with this project. I am simply a user looking at it from the outside. This is not financial advice. I'm not recommending anybody putting any money into it. This is just an experiment for people who use LeoFinance and Hive. And I'm looking at it for the first time. 2 days ago was the first time anybody had ever seen this outside of the Leo dev team. And there is still so much more to come. So don't sell all your Cub tokens. If you get some, thinking that you can just dump and get out while you can, because there are so many things that you can do with these tokens that we haven't even got to yet. And I was just reading something on the Bro page. Are you familiar with the Bro guys?
No, I'm not. What is that an acronym for something?
Well, it's a token. I think it's like a Bro community. Sorry, my headphones keep unplugging. Oh, come on. I gotta get a new headphone jack.
Yeah, I'm just using one of my Bluetooth earbuds, so I'm doing some work. So if you hear some
Hey, that's
shit
no
going
worries.
on,
I appreciate you jumping on here with me. It's less boring when there's two of us.
yeah,
I was playing
yeah. Well,
Splinterlands.
I'm just spraying weeds, so I don't think it should be too loud.
Well, that's not too bad. It's nice it's a beautiful day outside, at least up here in Canada. The sun's shining, and hopefully we're getting some more warm weather soon.
Yep, the sun's shining over here in Oregon too.
So what I did was I was able to get, like I say, get some liquidity on here. And then what you're going to do is go into the liquidity area. Like you click on trade, you go to exchange, and then there's a liquidity button in the middle. And you have to pair tokens to participate in this. So it's not just like, oh, you put some Cub on there and then you do something with the Cub. You can stake Cub in a den, but in order to participate in the farms, you need to have an equal amount of whatever pair token that you're using. So if you're, for example, sorry, my headphones keep unplugging. This is so frustrating.
You haven't cut out on my end.
Oh, that's not bad. So, like, let's say you want to do a Cub, or no, not Cub, so BLeo and BNB. So you want to add liquidity to the farm where it's the BLeo and BNB pair. Okay, if you want to put 10 BLeo in there, you're going to need 0.0344 Binance token. So I think a lot of people are going to, like, at least when I looked at it for the first time and I logged in, when you realize this, you have to go back and say, oh, I need more crypto. I need to put more in my wallet. And really the easiest way to get funds into Cub Finance is to just wrap BLeo. Right? So,
Okay.
So if you take whatever tokens you want, like the coins you sent to your Hive engine today, you sell those for Hive swap, then you sell those for Leo, Then you go to the importer. I don't know if you can see the page here, but I'm going to open up the page where you can. It's called wleo.io/BSC. Here you can enter your Metamask Binance wallet address. You hit submit. You enter how many tokens you want to import of Leo. You enter your Hive account username, and then it'll authorize the transaction through Hive Signer to send the Leo from your Hive account to your BLeo Binance wallet. Okay, so then you have BLeo in your wallet. You can go to Cub Finance and you can swap your BLeo for BNB, because you probably need some BNB tokens for the fees, right? So if you needed like, I don't know, 0.3 BNB, that's 87 Leo. Like, I don't really like this option because I think that the Leo is valuable. But at the same time, if I'm turning Litecoin into BLeo, do I really care if I'm selling BLeo? No, because there's a purpose to it, right?
Yeah, to get into the game.
Yeah, so that's basically what you do. You take your Litecoin, you turn it into Hive, you turn it into Leo, you turn it into BLeo, and then on Cub Finance, you can turn your BLeo into BNB. Then you have BNB, so you're able to create liquidity for BNB and BLeo if you didn't sell all your BLeo for BNB. This probably sounds a little confusing, but if you want to, like I say, add 100 BLeo to the liquidity pair, you're going to have to get 0.344042 BNB. So back to swap. BLeo. If you want to if you want to put 100 Leo into a farm, you're going to need to sell how much BLeo? You're going to need to sell another 100 Leo. Basically. Yeah, that makes sense, because it's the equal amount, right? So you're putting up two assets, BNB and BLeo. You pair them together, it gives you a BLeo BNB token. Then you take that BNB BLeo token over to your farm, and you add it to the contract. And you're going to have to pay a fee to unlock the contract, to authorize your Metamask to do the farm. And then you insert your pair. And then
how much is that fee? What are you paying the fee with?
It's about 50 cents. But if you're then once you have your farm, if you click harvest, it's 50 cents every time you harvest too. So if you've only got 50 cents of Cub tokens that you've farmed, and then you're paying another 50 cents in BNB tokens, yeah, you're up the Cub token, but you're down 50 cents. So you got to be careful that you're not clicking harvest too much. The other thing is that when you add more.
I was going to say just harvest once a week or whatever.
Yeah, it's
don't do it every day.
It's not like Hive Power where you go into your Hive wallet and you can click it like 3 times a day if you want, and there's no fees. Here you're paying BNB fees. So if you add more liquidity, it will automatically harvest for you. So that's the best way. Just add more funds or more pair, because you have to go and create your pair first. You create your liquidity pairs. You say, okay, I'm gonna put together some BNB and some BLeo. I'm going to put together some Cub and some BUSD. And then you have those pairs in your wallet, you can add them to the farms. When you add more liquidity to a farm, it automatically harvests. So you technically don't have to harvest. You can just add more liquidity. And that saves the transaction.
That's a good thing to know.
Yeah, definitely. Now, the price of the Cub token goes down and it goes up, depending on the supply. They are burning Leo and they're burning Cub using this platform. So the supply does decrease that way, but they're also printing rewards. So on the long term, you got to look at it long term. Think, I'm going to stake what I stake. I'm going to leave it. And I'm not going to take out my principal. I'm just going to, reinvest my harvest, or perhaps you're going to claim your harvest and join other pools. Or maybe there'll be even more things that we can do down the road that we don't even know about yet.
Yeah.
So we'll look at the farms for 1 second. So there's Cub BUSD, which is the stable coin on Binance for the US dollar. There's Cub BNB, and then there's BLEO BNB. So you need to make sure you have some BNB for sure, and you want to have some BUSD as well for the pairs. There's more farms that you can join as well. They've got BNB, BUSD, USDT, which is Tether, and BUSD, BTCB and BNB, Ethereum and BNB, DAI, NBUSD, USDC, BUSD, DOT, BNB, Cake, BUSD, Cake, BNB. So those are just the ones that are available right now. There's some other inactive farms, and I'm sure there's going to be some other ones. And then there's dens. You can just stake your Cub tokens themselves and put them into one of these dens. And this isn't a pair. You know, so you're not using two tokens to combine them and then stake those. This is literally just putting Cub in a cage, putting BUSD in a cage, putting WBNB in a cage, and there is a deposit fee on everything except for the Cub den. But, you know, if you have Ethereum and you want to do something with it, put it into the Ethereum den. You know, it's not like you're doing anything else with your Ethereum, probably. If you have...
Could I do that same thing with the Litecoin?
There is no Litecoin den.
All right.
And the interest on the Ethereum den is not as high as the interest on the Cub den. So, I mean, if you really wanted to, you could just turn your Litecoin into Leo and then sell your Leo for Cub on the Cub Finance exchange. So just turn your... So be Leo and Cub. Yeah, right now is actually a good time to buy Cub because it's only $5. It was $7 not too long ago.
Nice. So but then you got to also look at what the good time to buy Leo is.
Oh, for
or
sure.
What the good time to sell your Hive
Absolutely.
versus Leo.
It's all relative for sure. So right now you can get 2 Cub for 10.263 B Leo. And then you could throw those Cub into the Cub den. And that's probably the easy way if you don't want to get into the farms yet, if you don't have any BNB or BUSD to pair it with. But I started with the B Leo BNB, and then I took some of my Cub earnings and I put them into the Cub BUSD. And then
have you not put anything into a den yet?
I did. I bought some Cub tokens last night before I went to sleep, and I put them in the Cub den. And so I'm earning Cub from 3 different sources, and on the main page they all add up here. I have to initialize my Metamask every time. But here you can click Unlock Wallet, or you can click on your Metamask up here, and it'll load, and then it'll say, do you want to harvest everything? And I say no, because I don't want to harvest it. I did harvest last night, like I said, and I reinvested into the Cub den. But the Cub den interest is not as high as the farms, but probably less risk as well. I also noticed that the BLEO BNB farm pays out quicker than the Cub BUSD. Sorry, these words are so confusing to say.
Yeah.
But what's really impressive right now, and I'm just going to touch on this, $7.5 million locked value in these farms.
In Cub?
No, not in Cub.
Or in the farm?
Yeah, so it started out and it hit $1 million last night, just after midnight. And then it went up. And then it went down. So the Cub market cap rises and falls. The Cub supply increases, but they're also burning it. They've burned 12,000 Cub so far.
Nice.
And 12,000 Cub at $5.03 is they've burned $60,000 worth. So if you're worried about the price of Cub, just consider that they're burning $60,000 a day, basically.
Yeah, every time they burn, that increases the value of the Cub that you have.
Exactly.
Right?
Now, there's some other things that they're doing. Now, on the farms, you pay a deposit fee on anything except for the first 2. So 2% deposit fee to add funds into BLEO BNB, LP, 4% on some of the other ones. And So 20% of the 4% fee or the 2% fee, 20% of it is used to buy and burn Leo. The other
Yep.
80% is used to buy and burn Cub. So that's kind of neat. Every time somebody deposits, we're reducing the supply, and it's a very, very interesting mechanism. I'm excited to see how it plays out. Like I say, this is an experiment. None of this is in dollars. This is all experimental cryptocurrency tokens, things that have never been before. We're bridging 3 different blockchains together. You can take Ethereum tokens, move them to Hive, and then move them to Binance, which that in itself is a ridiculously cool feature.
Yeah. What's really cool is that, like, the guy who created Ethereum and the Ethereum network and whatnot, like, nobody has to ask him permission in order to list their tokens on these exchanges or whatever,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting ecosystem. I actually had the chance to meet him at a privacy and security conference I went to. So he is a man. He is mortal. He's just like you and me. But he definitely had a great idea. And I am impressed with what Ethereum has accomplished, although I'm much more impressed with Hive, to be honest.
Yeah, when you come into the whole crypto thing, at first you realize, okay, this is a cool way to get away from the middleman and as far as exchanging value in between each other. But then, like, you realize that, okay, there's all these other coins that they call shit coins because they're all providing the same service. Hive provides fucking a multitude of different services.
Definitely. I'm just having a bite of my breakfast. I call this Hive coffee, but I'm letting my coffee go cold.
Yeah, I've already drank my coffee. What time is it there?
It's 12:32.
Yeah, I thought so. You're a late riser.
Yeah, I work nights, and it's hard to get up before 11 o'clock for me.
All right, your coffee time's a little bit different because of the circumstances.
Definitely. That's why it alternates, too, between Hive coffee this afternoon and Hive coffee this evening, because sometimes it's like 8 o'clock at night, and I'm making coffee, and I'm going to be on Hive for the next 6 hours or 8 hours until I, decide to go to bed.
How long have you been on Hive for? Were you there in the beginning with Steam?
So I actually joined in August of 2016. I was a very, very early adopter, and I remember spending my first, I spent like 10 cents to buy my first, Steam Power back then. And I've just spent as much time as I could, learning about the platform. It was very basic when I first got started. There was no explanations for things. Most of the things that you would see on Hive.blog now didn't exist back then. And over the first year, a lot of people were just saying, oh, this is a scam, this isn't going to work. But I was having so much fun applying the HTML skills that I taught myself in middle school and just basically composing posts and saying, wow, this is so cool. I can put like my web page HTML in here and make a post, and suddenly there's like a payout due in a week. Like, that is the coolest thing ever. And people still don't really understand or appreciate how big that is. Everybody on social media right now needs to stop signing into Facebook. Stop signing into Twitter. Stop. Tell all your friends, I am leaving. Follow me here. Create a community. Call it, Mike's group. On Hive. It costs 3 Hive. You can make a post. You can earn some Hive. You can spend that on your community. Within 2 weeks, you could have the funds to launch your own community. Invite everybody off Facebook. Say, the off Facebook group. And then import everybody. Because everyone's spending all their time pushing the buttons on this centralized panopticon spy mechanism. We all know now in 2021. Our terms and agreements changed in October, okay? As of October 2020, if you continue to use Facebook, you agree to be censored. You agree to it.
Yeah.
It's in the terms and agreements now. So why are we still using it? Well, because everybody's still on there. But my goal for 2021 is that I am not using Facebook primarily anymore. Nope, no more. Now I am using only PKD, LeoFinance, all the awesome front ends that we have, because this is where we need to build. And once Project Blank comes out, whatever that ends up being, we need to be on there. And yeah, share your posts on Facebook. I'm not saying you have to disconnect from your grandma, okay? It's a fantastic way to stay connected to your family and your friends. But if you sit on there all day long pulling that refresh button, you are literally programming your brain to be addicted to the pull. And from that documentary that was on Netflix, we have learned that the pull refresh mechanism is a slot machine. Did you know that?
I watched a documentary about technology's impact on the human brain.
Did you see The Social Dilemma?
On a Netflix documentary?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Okay, well,
But
that's okay.
What the guy was getting at in this documentary is that, like, when you hear like a ding or whatever, you see the notification or whatever, your brain releases a certain amount of dopamine, and so it gets addicted to that.
Exactly. So in The Social Dilemma, it's a Netflix documentary, so it's kind of basic, but they did a really good job. They took the guy from Mad Men, the younger, I forget what his name is, but anyways, they took that actor and they had him basically pretending to be the bots, and they demonstrated for the audience how essentially Facebook is using you and trying to figure out which ads you're going to respond to, which posts they can push to you to get you to engage. And every time you pull that slot machine, you're engaging with the algorithm saying, show me something, right? And on the back end, and this is just algorithmically, there's not literally three people in a room, saying, hey, maybe we can push this and maybe we can push this. But essentially that's what the algorithm does, right? It's a really good, portrayal of what's going on in the background. And basically they just lay it out simply. When you sit there and refresh your Facebook app looking for new posts on your feed, you're pulling the thing on a slot machine, and you're the product. They're selling you. They're trying to figure out, oh yeah, definitely The Social Dilemma is very surface level. It's not like the most in-depth thing either. It's just one of several documentaries you should probably see to help convince you that social media is not the greatest thing in the world anymore.
Yeah. So I had a problem in onboarding one of my friends. He created a Hive account, and he got his keys and stuff, but then he was trying to confirm it on Hive Signer. He's basically trying to log in using his keys, but then it was telling him that it wasn't working. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to go over and in person go over there and try to help him set it up. But
yeah, tell me one more time. What was the steps there that he took?
So he signed up through Hive Onboard.
Okay.
And created a Hive account. He downloaded his keys. And then the keys that he downloaded wasn't working in order to import his account.
That's weird.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck, dude? You just use the master password, and then it all just.
I'm not super.
It all just works.
Oh, maybe. Okay. Is he using Keychain?
I'm not sure if he's using Keychain or not. I've told him about that. I've told him about Hive Signer and Keychain.
I'm not super familiar with the Hive Onboard sign up. Like I've been around since the beginning, so I usually just create my own accounts automatically using block trades or something like that. I usually recommend people sign up using ecency.com because they'll send your master key to your email, and then you can just log in, change your password, do whatever you want to do, but you pretty much have instant access to an account.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking of having him create a new account with a different, because it ties to your IP address, because it doesn't want you spamming making accounts. But so I was gonna have him make a new account on like a different service like that, because I don't know if he tried first on Peak-D or what.
Yeah, and my friend Robbie says Hive Signer asks you to make a password. So of course you have to use your password for the Hive Signer when you first log in, and then also if you import a key and then you encrypt it using like Hive Signer will ask you to encrypt your key, and then you have to make a PIN and you have to enter the PIN every single time.
Yeah.
Another security feature. I mean, it's good to have extra layers of security, but it's also no good if you like forget your second password and then lock yourself out of your own account.
You can't recover your Hive Signer password?
Well, you can re-import it, but like let's say you set a PIN because you encrypt, like you secondarily encrypt your PIN or your keys.
Yeah.
So then you have to enter your PIN every time, and you're like, well, what did I enter as my PIN? And then every time you try to like click something, if you're using Keychain, it's always asking you to do that. Or if you're using Hive Signer and you encrypt with a PIN, you have to go back and... Anyways, this sounds super complicated to anybody who's listening.
Yeah, he's overwhelmed, but I'm gonna go over there and get some hands-on.
That's the best way. You know, I'm all about onboarding new people, and I tell you, you know, help your friends sign up. You know, yeah, if you just tell somebody, go sign up for it, they're not going to do it. If you send them a link, they might look at it, but they're not going to sign up. If you tell them, sign up right now, they might do it. But if you just help them, you know, if you create an account for them and then show them how to change their password so that they have their own secure password, you don't have access to that anymore, do that. You know, just help people sign up. If somebody doesn't have any Hive power and they're like, oh, how come I can't do anything on this site? Delegate some Hive to them. I've delegated Hive to pretty much everybody I've created an account for, at least to start out, and then once they get going, they can power up their own Hive. But
yeah, then you withdraw it and move on to the next.
But if every one of us active Hive people just refer one person a month, you know, we're going to have 100,000 new people here a year from now, just from our own efforts. And I think that's probably the best thing we can do for the platform is just share it with the people we care about. Make your posts on Hive or LeoFinance. Share those links to your Facebook. Share it to your Twitter. You know, let people know what's going on. People who didn't know about the LeoFinance drop. I mean, I didn't know about LeoFinance token or the front end really until January. And
it's been around for a couple years.
It has. I've read tons of LeoFinance posts. I've been voting on LeoFinance posts, but I wasn't.
You just
really
never really knew it was a thing.
Yeah, so like once I saw what it was, I was like, holy smokes, let's let everybody know. And I have a group of, you know, 80 plus some people that I've introduced to Hive, and I've tried to encourage some of them to get started posting on LeoFinance so that they can earn some Leo tokens. Some of them are receptive. Some of them say, oh yeah, that's great. Some of them say, well, I'm not really into finance or markets, so that's not for me.
Yeah.
Right? And that's totally fair. But if you're posting on Hive, a lot of what we post about on Hive is already markets and finance. So it just means you might have to take an extra 15, 20 minutes, you know, read some articles up on what you're going to post about. You know, look at the markets. You know, just have a look, see what's relevant to you, and then talk about what's relevant to you. You know, we can all contribute.
One way I've tried, today I found out an idea of how to like get myself onto LeoFinance is like trying to finance community service projects. So this one lady on Facebook I saw in my local area, she said that her kids had an idea to organize a community service project to help service the local homeless community. So I was gonna reblog her posts on there and talk about it, and then, you know, see if, you know, what people thought about it, if they want to upvote it, whatnot, if they, you know, want to send some money specifically for that purpose or whatever, because just it's another avenue for them to be able to fund their project. So yeah, I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
How do you think that'll go over on Leo?
Specifically, what? Sorry, I was just reading the comments in the Hive Coffee chat.
Oh, the community service project that I'm gonna start helping out with over in my local community.
Oh yeah, I think that's a great idea. And the idea we talked about a bunch of stuff the other week, and I recorded some of it, and I'm going to edit some of it, but I haven't had the chance. I've had things in life, and of course, this Cub Finance thing took up like my entire day yesterday. I
Yeah.
was trying to figure that out. But I really do want to continue to have this conversation, just the basics about, like, what is freedom? Why is freedom important? And on the local level, how do people go about setting up committees of safety? Is that what they're called?
Yes, you're a fucking awesome guy for
Yeah, man. Like I said, freedom's
actually
important to me. This
saying
this
it.
matters to me, and I was actually very, very interested in the things we were talking about last week. I don't think enough Canadians truly appreciate what freedom means, and our idea of freedom is we stand on guard for thee. We sing our national anthem, just like you sing your national anthem. But to us, it's, here we are, standing on guard, making sure that our home is free and strong, except for, when it's not. And right now, I don't feel very free when our prime minister is spending, while we're at like 300% debt to GDP right now, which is insane.
Yeah,
Bank,
I don't even know what it is for America.
well, our bank has no gold in the vault.
Yeah.
We have. Yeah. Okay. So the committee of safety concept. Do you want to talk about that? Like how that is executed? What the process of going to a committee of safety meeting is like? How does that unfold? And how people can sort of do the same thing in their own community?
So a committee of safety is established by having a group of people who are dedicated to the purpose of outreach and networking in order to strengthen the unity within their community. So committee of safety it can be started with as little as 3 people, but the idea is for you to do a lot of advertising and stuff in order to get as many people as possible participating. But a committee of safety meeting would be a lot like what a town hall meeting is. And so all of the... Well, first of all, let's say the first committee of safety meeting. Y'all come there, introduce yourself, kind of like an AA meeting, like, hey, my name's Matthew, I'm a pothead, I believe in liberty, etc., etc. Get to know each other, and then later that night or the second meeting or something, or sometime in the future, once you really get to know people, then you would hold a vote and then go about selecting your chairman. And selecting different representatives for your community. Like, if you want to have a person whose role it is to represent the female community, the Hispanic community, Black community, stuff like that, and then they would become the executive body of the committee of safety.
Okay.
And so it's what you're basically doing is forming what they call a civil body politic, so that we can start facilitating the necessary functions of society within our local jurisdictions. So a person would go about setting up a committee of safety just by getting a small dedicated group of people, because you can't get 100 people in one day. It's impossible.
Not. Maybe in a week, if you had a committed group of people that are out, trying to find them.
Yeah, so you have to start with good intentions, obviously, and the idea, it should be about contacting, networking with as many people as possible. in order to get mass participation. Because like right now, what we have in lots of society and government is people who are disenchanted, and basically they only interact with government. The around like the beginning of the year when they got to pay taxes, or the time of the year when your voting pamphlet comes in the mail. That's like the only time that you have input or say in what's going on in government. And so we're all really, really disconnected from each other, and that's why we have all this turmoil and discord in our different countries.
I'm just buying some dark energy crystals right now. We have some comments here. Yeah, I like Discord too. So let's say you get like a group of like 10 people together, and you say, and they live around you, like in my little area here. I bring together 10 people, and we elect some chair people, right, to the committee.
I would refrain from electing anybody with that small of a group. Okay. I would just work on outreach.
Okay, so outreach until you reach like 100?
Yeah, something like that, okay. Definitely. And then, so say that group of 100 people elects 10 people to the legislative body, the chairman, and then 9 other people. Okay. That's good to go till you get 200 more people. Right. Then you hold another election. You hold another vote.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And then maybe you expand that executive legislative body to be like 20 people. You got your chairman and 19 representatives. Like the reason that you want to have odd number like that, like obviously you have one chairman. Maybe you might redesign that to have 2 chairmen. Mm-hmm. Like we talked about last time, the people in Kurdistan, in Rojava, the Kurdish people, they in their governmental body, that's what they mandate. In their constitution, that's what they mandate, is that there's a bisex position. Like you don't just, there's not just one head of the chair. When you elect something, you elect a man and you elect a woman.
Yeah.
Because they need to have equal representation, and a man can't represent a woman at all. Like, it shouldn't be that way.
Robbie says,
like,
I think what you want is intermeeting roles so there's leadership, but it has no permanence. If you work the process like that, people will probably respect and understand the structure concept better and be more attentive and have higher retention.
Can you explain that to me in simpler terms?
Well, he says intra-meeting roles. So maybe things to do between meetings? Robbie's just explaining here. I don't know if you can see the Hive Coffee chat.
Yeah, I'll read it right now.
Yeah. No, I really appreciate having Robbie here to pose some questions. Me and Matthew are just having this conversation, following up again. We talked last week about freedom and what that means, and he touched a little bit on these subjects. So I hope the people listening to this live stream are getting some good ideas. Okay, so I just bought some dark energy crystals because they're super cheap right now. I'm sure everybody's spending their dark energy crystals on Leo, but I just sold some Leo for dark energy crystals. So
I think I understand what he's getting at. He's saying that it's a good proposal off the bat.
Cool. So once we have, that's not right. Once we have this, committee of safety established, what do we do?
Well, you do everything that the voting members of the committee of safety ask for you to do. Like you maybe make some proposals or something. Just like on Hive, just like on the blockchain, you make a proposal and then have people vote on it. Mm-hmm. Or the people make a proposal, like it doesn't. That's how it is nowadays. Like your legislative body, they're the ones who always are the first to act, or first movers advantage, I guess.
Right.
They always make the proposals first. Like the proposals don't come from the people ever. Maybe they're a response to some protest or direct action that the people have done, but it's always in the words of the political leaders. So in a committee of safety, it could work the opposite way, which it should. Government is established by the will of the people.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Even a tyrannical government, like the quote about all that it takes for tyranny to prevail in the world is for good men to be silent.
Right.
That's by their consent. Your silence is consent. Okay. So a monarchy is only a monarchy because the subjects consent.
Right. That makes sense. But could you give me some examples of things that would be discussed at a committee of safety meeting, and some things that might come out of that? Just for example, in your area, things that would be done or could be done.
Well, specifically in my local area for my committee of safety, what might be brought up in the meeting as far as proposals for future action and effort would be things like that community service that lady's her kids actually thought of the idea, but like doing things to address the homeless population and help them out, or do things like organize trash cleanups, but then getting in more to the functions of government, doing things like by the consent of the people. What is the firearms laws or regulations? They call them city ordinances.
Okay.
And so maybe they would sit down and have a discussion about what should our city ordinances look like in regards to firearms, or if my community is very diverse and stuff, but let's think about a community that's not very diverse at all, like a heavily populated Mormon community or Christian community or Catholic or something. Like maybe they would create a committee of safety and discuss things about what their different moral comfort laws might be regarding selling alcohol on Sundays or not, or selling alcohol at all or not.
Right.
But the thing is that these like moral comfort laws like that should be enacted on the smallest community basis. Like you shouldn't have like you say a county or a province in Canada, where 51% of the population is religious, so they make a law in their county that says that they're outlawing alcohol. That's fine for them to do, I guess, but it affects everybody in all the towns in that county. There's counties in America that are dry counties. You have to go to a different county in order to purchase alcohol, and that's oppressive. There's whole states, like in Oregon, you can't buy liquor on a Sunday. Liquor stores are closed on Sundays. And that's a moral comfort law that's persisted through the 1800s, from the 1700s to till now. So these moral comfort laws, they're for the good of the community, but the community should be as small as possible. Not that I'm trying to say like, oh, your community can't be 100,000 people, but if those 100,000 people should all be living in the area that they want to live in.
Right, they should
It's
feel involved in the process at least. And I think that a lot of
that.
people don't feel like they are involved in the political process. They're like, well, I don't run for city council and I'm not a politician and politics is annoying, so I have no interest in that. I'm just going to tune out and watch hockey. You know, that's I think what how a lot of people feel is like, well, politics is about the election season, and when the election season happens, I'll vote for my team. You know, my team's blue or my team's red, and that's my participation in that process. I guess a committee of safety would be more for the local level, like for the block where I live. You know, getting the people here together to decide, like, hey, we should put a garden in across the street next to the playground because that would look nice, and it might be, you know, good for the community to have, you know, a place where you can go get some strawberries or something.
Yeah.
And if everyone in the area agreed on it, technically we're what did you say, a body judicial or?
It's called civil body politic. That's what you. Yeah, that's what your. Do you guys have like a House of Commons or whatever, a legislative body?
Yeah, we have the.
What do you call?
Well, so you have like the Senate and the House and all that.
Got that.
We have provincially we have like the Parliament in Alberta, and that's the provincial government, and then we have the House of Commons, which is the federal government, where all the politicians gather to yell at each other.
Yeah. So those are civil body politics. Like they're conducting the operation of politics in a civil manner. The people who are elected there are elected in a civil manner. No one's conducting violence in order to get their position. So that's why the root, I guess, of that term, civil body politic, is because it's a body of people conducting political actions in a civil manner.
Right. That's very interesting. Yeah, right now we're under a little bit of a, I don't know, we're all trapped. We've been locked down by our governments, and you know, our city councils get together and they vote on things, and then the rest of us have to kind of just go along with it. But if we had, like, in every neighborhood a committee of safety, and all the committees were, you know, figuring out what was important to them and what needed to be done, and then submitting maybe, you know, a report to the city council, would that be something they could do, or are we like replacing city councils? Because we can't.
Well, I mean, in my opinion, the idea of crypto is to replace centrally controlled fiat currency. Mm-hmm. The idea, in my mind, and the only way that I like to sell it is, you know, because in my opinion, we need to alter the forms to which we've become accustomed, and that's centrally controlled political systems. And so, yes, the Committee of Safety, in my opinion, is specifically designed to replace the despotic entities that we've become accustomed to, and to never reinstall anything similar to what we've had to suffer.
Well, I've studied, you know, a lot of this stuff for years, and one of the things that I've known for a long time is that, you know, on the federal level, on the, you know, the government level of the whole country, they can't really do much. Not really. You know, all the meaningful actions are taking place on the local level, and that's why the states, the individual states, are supposed to kind of govern their own things, but the federal government is always trying to do overreach and to, you know, say how it should be for everybody, and then the states have to fight back.
Yeah, it's up to your state to actually fight back. Just like you're explaining exactly what happens in America, but the federal government rules down, and then the state's like, okay, that's fine.
So here in Canada, same thing. We have the federal government. Everyone looks to the Prime Minister and says, hopefully this guy will solve all our problems. But realistically, it needs to be the individual provinces and the individual cities and the individual neighborhoods that actually go out and work and do things and live our lives. You know, it doesn't really matter what happens in the House of Commons, you know, whatever they're saying, fine, but it could take a while to trickle out there, and they can still do stuff. But everything happens on the local level. You pick up your plate, you take it to the kitchen, you wash your dishes, and that's life, you know? And sure, it's all fine and dandy for some person to go to Ottawa and say, we're going to do this, and everybody's going to do this. But everybody has to still do those things on the local level. You know, if you want to fix things at home, you got to fix things at home. You can't just expect somebody else to take care of it all for you.
Yep.
So did you get your Litecoin? Or are you going to have to check that after work?
No, I had 10 Litecoin in my Litecoin wallet, and I was kind of just sitting on that there, but just like your money in a savings account, it's not earning any APY. So I pushed over 5 Litecoin to my Hive engine account. Nice. So my Hive engine account now has $1,100 in it. Nice. So after work, I'll get on getting some Leo, wrapping that shit.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So if I got it right, get Leo, wrap that, send it to the MetaMask.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So you sell your Litecoin swap for Hive swap, then buy Leo, then wrap your Leo to B Leo, and then you can sell some B Leo for some Cub, or you can sell some B Leo for some BNB, and then you can either create your liquidity pairs or you can just stick it in a den. I actually sold one of my Ethereum tokens that was actually worth quite a bit because I don't really see anything going anywhere for the project. Like, yeah, the token value is high, but it's not doing anything, and I'm not actively involved
it's a single-purpose project to get liquidity, whatever for.
So I sold that to I sold that to BNB, but then I couldn't send the BNB from my wallet to the BNB MetaMask, so I had to go the back way by converting it again into Litecoin, sending the Litecoin to the Litecoin swap, selling to Hive, buying Leo, wrapping the Leo, then selling the Leo for BNB and BUSD and Cub.
Yeah, dude, this all sounds so
cool.
Fucking hard. Cool. Yeah, if it wasn't so damn cool, like it would be impossible to do.
Well, that's why it's so exciting to me. Like, my adrenaline was pumping yesterday. I was freaking out because when I went to bed 2 nights ago, and I think Robbie was here with me, we were looking at these numbers thinking this is stupid. Like, this is ridiculous. And I was like, I just got back from the airport. I'm exhausted. I'm trying to figure this out, but I need to like sleep and then come back to this. So I did, and then all day yesterday I was like, I've lost millions of dollars. Like, I felt so stressed out trying to do these steps.
Literally millions of dollars?
Well, that's how it felt.
Yeah.
Like, from the people who got in like immediately to the people who are getting in now, it feels like that. Like, we're still waiting for the Cub drop. Right? The Cub has not been released on Hive Engine, which is fine. People need to spend a day playing with MetaMask. They need to learn how to, just send some Leo to your MetaMask and trade it. Trade it for some Cubs, stick it in a den. Boom, there you go. You got some. And then forget about it.
I was so happy the day that my mom, it was like probably 3 weeks ago, my mom told me that she sold her Tesla stock. Like, she bought Tesla. She bought her Tesla stock. Well, I think she just sold the profit from the stock, but she put like $5,000 on it like a year ago, and it made her like $25,000. Awesome. So she took the $20,000 out and then invested that into Bitcoin and into the Hive blockchain company.
I can't complain about that. Because not bad.
I like that Hive blockchain company because they're doing mining farms in like Canada and Iceland.
Oh, you mean actual Hive blockchain company?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's listed under HBTF or something.
Okay, well they're getting some publicity from us.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, they mine Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Okay.
So they're making money.
Well, it's not the worst thing, but selling, like, did she sell all of her Tesla?
No, I
Okay,
think
good.
she just sold the profit.
Good, because
Took the profit.
owning Tesla is one of the only ways you can own part of SpaceX right
Yeah.
now. And we know that like once SpaceX actually did they I should check this. Um, I don't know if they've launched 11 yet. They cleared off the wreckage of SN10 yesterday, and they were rolling SN11 out. Are you watching the rocket launches at all?
No, I watched the landing on Mars.
Yeah, nice, nice. That's exciting. Although it was just a CGI.
Yeah, I know.
But okay, so expected cryo testing today. Ambient pressure test completed March 9th. Road closure 10th to 11th. So today or tomorrow they're closing the roads. Launch Mount 2-3 Raptors installed. First tanks installed. So yeah, we probably won't have a launch today. Maybe tomorrow. And I think this one they're gonna land it. They landed the last one, but it hit too hard, and it was like 10 meters a second when it landed, and it ruptured the fuel tank. And so like they tried putting out the fires, but that didn't work, and then it blew up about 6 minutes after
Yeah.
landing, which I would still call a huge success. I mean,
Yeah.
they did it! Oh man, I was so excited. I was watching with my father. It was like history in the making, and I will never forget that moment. Like it was so cool.
Do you live with your parents or what?
No, but we work together.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I had the chance to work with my dad for a little bit at a landscaping company.
Yeah.
Kind of a long story, but that was the landscaping company he worked at when I was a little kid.
Oh wow.
And then he was like living down in New Mexico, and I got in contact with him, and then he moved back up here. And then when I was probably 22 at the time then.
Yep.
Then we both started working at that company again.
Okay.
So it was pretty funny.
That's great. You got to cherish those experiences and the time you have with your parents. I'm lucky because I still have my parents, but some people have lost their parents, and I'm not looking forward to those days. So I'm trying to make all the memories I can. When I was a kid, my dad was always working, but as I got older, I did get the chance to work with him, and you get to know you get to know him better when you're working together. You get to have those experiences, and you learn a lot that you don't even realize you're learning. You look back and think, wow, he's actually teaching me all these different things, and maybe you don't appreciate it when you're a kid, but when you get older, you're like, wow, like I've become my dad because I do all these things that he used to do, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, just like the rocket launch, it looks like we're going to see SN11 launching sometime in the next day or two. They're going to be closing the roads, venting the tanks, making sure everything's...
I don't know. Have you seen that guy? He made the community page on Hive called Expanding the Hive. His name's Trust Paradox, and I think he's a professor at Kansas State University.
Okay.
Something like that.
Not familiar, but I'm looking it up right now.
It's called Expand the Hive, and then he's got a channel on 3Speak called like Spring Semester 2021 or something. But he's had some cool presentations on there. He had a guy on there who's an anarcho-capitalist, and basically, like, I want to get back to the notion of like what can a committee of safety do?
Yes, please.
And so this guy who's an anarcho-capitalist, he's talking about the notion of national security in an anarcho-capitalist society, like a stateless society, and how there's a saying about America that you can't invade this place because if you did, there'd be a rifle behind every blade of grass.
Right, that's what they say.
That's what they say. So what this anarcho-capitalist guy is saying that that there is no nation, there is no national security. All there is security. basically. Like, you can't go and invade a stateless society and think that you'll fucking have any success, because it's basically 100% an insurgency from the get-go. So getting to the committees of safety is like, in a stateless society, everybody, they like, in anarchy, people think that it's just buck wild. Like,
Right.
there is no rules, there is no rulers. So there's gonna be chaos. But I think in order to get away from that chaos is to have these committees of safety, civil body politics, and it wouldn't be an actual state. Like, he talks about what makes a state a state, what makes a government a state, and that's the monopoly on the use of force, and the monopoly on the coercive use of force, and the monopoly on violence. Like, if my government wanted to, they'd have a great excuse in order to censor me, silence me, imprison me for not paying my taxes. And everybody would say, yeah, that's a good thing that they did that, because he wasn't paying his fair share. So a state is only a state because it enjoys the monopoly on the use of force. So a committee of safety would avoid being a state because it doesn't have that monopoly. It's operating 100% on the direct input of the people. It's not making any unilateral executive decisions ever.
Yeah. Rob is saying civil body politics isn't enough. Just offering something people can be involved in is part of the solution. You need a real exchange of thoughts where people can come together around something and understand them better. I think that's, we don't have nearly enough discussion, at least how I feel about, our political thing is you have like the government and the people on that side of the aisle, and then you have the opposition, which is like their job is to question everything, but they don't really have any like in-depth conversations about things. It's just like, my constituents want me to tell you about this problem, and then the government says, if you're paying attention, you'd know that our government is doing everything we can to fix that problem. And then the other person says, well, no, you're not listening to us at all. We need this and this and this and this. And then the government says, we're already doing all these things if you look at our economic action plan. And then they move on to the next thing. Like, they're not actually, I guess it's not really their job to go into all the depth. Like, they're not actually having debates about these things in the House of Commons.
No.
I do like listening to the United States, because in the Senate you get to listen to your representatives, and they actually get the floor. They get to talk for like half an hour or 15 minutes or however long they get, and you actually.
Or they can do a filibuster.
What is a filibuster?
A filibuster is where it's a certain scenario where as long as they're standing at the podium, they can speak. So as long as they remain standing at the podium and speaking, then they are conducting a filibuster.
Interesting.
So they can sit there and milk the time. Basically, it's basically a war of attrition. You sit there and occupy these people's time, and get them uncomfortable enough to be able to accept the information that you're telling them.
Right. Well, that's very interesting. See, I enjoy this conversation a lot. I really do enjoy chatting back and forth with you, because you have a lot of knowledge about these things. You're an American, so you're familiar with that stuff, and I'm Canadian, and I'm just trying to understand life and everything. Like when I was a kid, things were not so complicated. We all lived in our little communities. The world was small. We didn't have all this chatter coming from across the border. If we did, we just turned the TV off. We only had 3 channels, so we really didn't get a whole lot of information about what was going on in the world, except for the little soundbite. Now we're so interconnected that literally every time something happens, it's It's around the world. Like shot fire, boom, everybody knows about it. Something big happens,
Yeah.
like an earthquake. Like when the earthquake hit Haiti, for example. Everybody knew about it, and that was, I think, one of the first events that I think reached like global consciousness was those tsunamis that hit over in
Yeah, and
Japan.
then it just continued it with the whole reactors melting down at Fukushima,
Oh God, yeah,
and the tsunami.
yeah. 2011 was quite the year, and it was that
Yeah.
same year that the lady who petitioned for Red Deer to become a nuclear-free zone, she passed away, and it's kind of sad and coincidental. But
Yeah.
we have plaques in our city. It used to be on the entrance signs when you would drive into the city. It used to say Red Deer, a nuclear free zone. But it doesn't say that anymore. But this plaque is still at City Hall. But I don't think people take it too seriously. There's still talk about putting nuclear reactors in Alberta, and oh, it's so safe. Yeah, sure, it's safe and electricity's cheap, but what happens when you can't store the spent fuel rods anymore? What happens when you need to turn it off? A lot of these older Mark
That's
1 reactors, like the ones they had in Japan, they literally are nuclear bombs, just bigger.
Yeah, I don't know of any other useful use for the byproduct of nuclear power other than making nuclear weapons.
And I'm sure other people are going to have contrary opinions here. It's a very debatable subject, but I personally don't think that putting spent fuel rods in a holding tank above the nuclear reactor is a long-term plan. Yeah, Fukushima
Yeah.
was definitely a unique circumstance that could be learned from all the mistakes that there were. But a lot of these nuclear reactors around the world are still basically atomic bombs on a large scale that you just have to keep feeding because you can't turn them off. And that's very concerning to someone like me who, I was born after the Cold War nuclear fear, but I still knew about it growing up. When 2009, when Kim Jong Il was testing nuclear weapons, I was legitimately terrified. And the fact that the last president went and made peace with North Korea, essentially, that was a huge sigh of relief for me because I'm very concerned about nuclear technology. And I think if we don't dismantle it or turn off at least the old, outdated nuclear reactors while we still can, then either it's going to kill us all, or down the road, people won't be able to solve the problems. And we're going to push it to another generation, and they're going to inherit the problems, and it'll probably end up like, War of the Worlds or Planet of the Apes, with, everything getting destroyed.
Yeah, a lot of the people who talk are proponents of nuclear power and who talk down about renewable energy. They talk about how like the payoff of like wind turbines or whatever, the cost to make them outweighs the benefit or whatever, because it for one, to make solar panels, to make wind turbines, you're using fossil fuels
Yeah.
in order to do it, and like basically they're just saying that it doesn't pan out and stuff, and I don't know.
Right, and you get into some interesting trains of thought, I guess, about how, like, okay, so I was driving this one client, and she was in the army, and she was talking about these ideas, and like, what happens when you take mass out of the planet, for example, and you send it into space? Like, what relationship is there between, like all the mass, all the volume of what's on Earth, and we start shooting rockets out? We're taking elements and minerals out of the Earth. Are there going to be any consequences for that? That was just an interesting thought that she brought up. But the amount of energy it takes. This is from a Kyrgyzstan video. The amount of energy it takes to escape the gravity of the Earth is so massive. Like, most of us are prisoners here of gravity, essentially. Even in our solar system. Even if we can get out to Jupiter, and then we're stuck on Jupiter's gravity field, right? Like, we are prisoners of the gravity of our solar system. And so potentially, if we invent a warp drive or something, we can just, take off and go to another solar system. But
Have you seen any like futuristic shit or what? I'm thinking of like human hamster wheels or something. Like I think I'm remembering like a stair stepper that somehow like powered the.
Are you thinking Rick and Morty?
Yeah, I think I'm thinking Rick and Morty.
That was such a good episode. Because he builds a machine that can generate power for his vehicle,
Oh, yeah.
but then he goes inside of it and he finds out that the reason it's not working anymore is because some other Rick guy, alien, invented another device like that inside that universe. So he's like, no, you got to keep doing this so my car works. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, that'll be like if the centralized authority governments ever create their own quote unquote cryptocurrency.
It's just like slavery with extra steps.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I was just thinking if there was like some sort of way that we could get like human power in order to supplement some of this needed wattage that is much needed.
Yeah, well, we know that there are all sorts of technologies, and I have lots of friends who are into these different things. So, you know, we can spend a whole day just talking about alternative energy devices, and then we're both going to.
Oh yeah. So what I was getting at with the civil body politic and the Committee of Safety, and the whole national security notion about a stateless society, is that the Committee of Safety would also have the authority to oversee the local military body. Like, you got the civil body, then you have the military body, because you need to have defense. That's the first law of nature, is self-defense, the right to life, the right to defend your life. So obviously, whether or not you think you might be a conscientious objector or something like that, but when it comes down to it, you will kill something if it's trying to kill you. And so the civil body politic, being representative of all the people in the community, and then the people in the community delegating to them their responsibilities and whatnot, they would oversee the militia, delegate responsibilities to the militia to do things, and basically just keep that shit in order, and remove the whole need to have a central authority like the state government or the federal government to operate and maintain their standing armies, because their standing armies are a means of oppression for them to oppress us, and also a means of redistribution of wealth to people who don't, like, for jobs that are unnecessary, for one, and for people who don't deserve it. That's the whole.
I really like the idea of not having a central authority. Most people think anarchy means like things are burning in the streets and everyone's killing each other. But that's not what anarchy is. Anarchy is actually without rulers. And so it just means that, like, we don't elect certain people to tell everybody else what to do. I mean, the whole idea of, we need to give some people the power to hurt you so that we don't hurt each other is kind of cognitive dissonance. Like, yes, there are criminals, and yes, we need to train certain people to deal with criminals, but we're giving so much power and authority to these people that the police have literally become the fix-it people for everything. You're having a fight with your girlfriend, call the police, right? You're having, a dispute with somebody about something, call the police. And the police are showing up for every little thing, and they're expected to solve every situation. And the police are literally not equipped to do all that stuff. We've put so much pressure on the police. There must be a better way.
Yeah. Well, and that's the whole thing. Like, the problem with big government is that it only wants to get bigger and bigger, because, there's always a reason, like, why we need to do more and more stuff. But if we started providing these services for ourselves, like, say, like, let's not call it law enforcement, let's just call it community defense.
Okay.
that people could conduct that service for free, or other people could delegate to them resources in exchange for providing that resource. Like, say you got somebody who's raising ducks in their yard,
Right.
they give you duck eggs, they give you chicken eggs or something. And so that kind of like bartering kind of screws with the economy, I guess, because like the value of the dollar, if people aren't moving dollars around in the economy, it shows that that there's less value in that dollar. But I don't know.
What is a dollar?
Just
I've been
dollar.
so frustrated recently just looking at because I track the prices of things, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like our loonie is worth like 79 cents to the US dollar, but our loonie is not really backed by anything. And since I do crypto, I'm usually looking at the value of things in US dollars when it relates to crypto. But now, having Hive power, having Leo power, having all these really interesting assets, I really don't want to hold fiat currency. Like, it doesn't make any real sense anymore to have.
Yeah, that's like I had $2,000 loaded up onto the Webull investing app.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, what the fuck am I doing? I'm like expected to be paid out in US dollars or profit in US dollars, and the US dollar is devalued every time that the Fed pushes out trillions of dollars into the economy.
Right? And it's just like we all have a little bit of regret, buyer's remorse, but maybe not buyer's remorse, because if we had bought coffee, or rather than buying coffee, we bought Bitcoin every day for the past 2 years, it'd be insane how much that would be worth. And so you just think about all the money you should have spent on Bitcoin, and rather than stay negative and think, oh, I wish, just start posting on LeoFinance. Just write a story. Talk about your day. Talk about your week. Write about something you're interested in. Everything on LeoFinance does not have to be, oh, LeoFinance is doing this today, or hey, the price of LeoFinance is this. We've talked a little bit about how doing the same thing over and over again is going to make it really boring. But at the same time, we also don't want to be getting flagged because we're posting content and using the LeoFinance tag that it's not technically market or finance related. It's a really slippery slope because we want to encourage new people to come and post. But if they post and then they get downvoted because they're not posting about the stock market, but they're using the LeoFinance tag, like there's going to be disagreements of opinion. And
yeah, I think what's his face said that they might downvote me if I posted that one thing to LeoFinance, and I'm like, well, that sucks, man.
Right? And
like,
I want to be able to post and participate in the community, and I do think that most of my posts are related to finance in some ways. I always talk about the prices of things, but I want to be able to post about a variety of subjects. People need to come to Hive and make their own category, fill their own tag. If you like dogs, or if you like, collectible cards, or not cards, but I meant to say cars, like if you like little toy cars, great. Make a community for collectible cars. Collect Hot Wheels or something, and then post about Hot Wheels. You can say this Hot Wheels car is worth $3.45. I bought it yesterday at Target. Post about that, because at least it's new content. There's a variety to it, and it's going to attract other people who are like, hey, I have some Hot Wheels. Maybe they're worth something.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty applicable to LeoFinance because financing philanthropic ventures or financing community service activities. Like I think most people, when they seek out donations or something, they're going through some third-party service that's probably taking a commission off of it.
Yeah. At least with Hive, you get your payout from the post, and it's 50%, and that's pretty good. And, if you have a great idea, you can write about it every day for a month, and you're going to gain some funds, more than you'd get creating a GoFundMe, most likely.
Yeah. And it's just another revenue stream for the for the
And the hope
charity.
is that people are taking their payouts from Hive and at least powering up some of it. You know, half of it gets paid out in Hive Power usually, and then the other half gets paid out in Liquid Hive or in Hive dollars. So hopefully users are at least reinvesting 50% of their rewards into their account so that they can earn more rewards in the future. I think most of us who've been around for a couple years are doing that.
Yeah, I haven't taken any rewards out of my Hive account. I just power it back up.
Yeah, I usually I'll move things around a little bit. You know, sometimes I'll buy some, but I usually reinvest. Like I'll get tokens on Hive. I've been adding to my collection, and there's some really interesting tokens that are standing out above the rest. Of course, Leo. We all know about Leo now. Hopefully, you know about Leo. If you don't, check it out. But there's also dark energy crystals. I just bought 2,000 dark energy crystals because the price is low today. It was only like 5 Hive, and then I bought another booster pack. So I have some new cards on Splinterlands. See if this light battle works.
Yeah, I don't even know how to really play those games. Do you have to pay in order to play, like to start off?
Well, you can
Like
buy
on
a booster pack for about 2,000 dark energy crystals. That's a handful of cards, and then you can battle with the cards, and you can earn dark energy crystals in the game.
Okay, and if you lose a battle, you don't lose anything.
No, you don't lose anything, so you can just play all day. Like I'm playing right now. I've won 3 battles this morning.
Sick.
I've leveled up, so the season ends at It's kind of neat.
Do you play Brewmaster or G-City
I
or
don't play
the
Brewmaster,
Wheat?
but I have. And I also have a pub that I created in the Canada community where you can go in, you can go to the pub, you can ask for a beer, and I can now send about 7 beers a day because I stocked up on some beer. Yeah, 6 beers a day basically I can serve. So if you want a beer, feel free to pop in. You don't have to be Canadian. You can just say, "Hey."
Yeah.
I just want this
That
to be an
shit.
active community. My Canada community is not like, "Oh, you have to post about finance." It's literally, we are Canadians. We're posting about Canada stuff. Come on, join the conversation. At least that's how
Yeah,
I
I created the community called Restore the Republic just because I wanted people to come there and, well, first be able to see the information that I put up, and then put up, information that they may think is useful to the conversation too. But then also, people who are interested in the idea of a decentralized republic and stuff, and want to hang on to that idea rather than go into full stateless society mode.
Yeah,
But
I think it's going to be a process. I don't think we can dismantle our state all at once, but I think on the local level, if we can organize and we can start using better tools like
Yeah.
Hive, rather than Facebook, for example, it steals all your information and sells you as a product, basically to advertisers. We can take control. And look at all these communities. I'm scrolling down on the page here, so I can search for Republic.
Restore the Republic. Yeah. Yeah, dude, it's really cool, and the fact that you're realizing all of the value of your community is fucking cool too. Because basically from the beginning of the internet till now, every community that has been formed on the internet has been profited only by a small group of people.
And it's temporary because websites go down. I put so much information into web forums, like the message boards, and it all disappeared. I even had my own message board where I posted like a ton of information. Like I'm talking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of quality posts, and it all vanished one day. It was all gone. And it was it felt so defeating. Then I went and I created a blog on Blogspot, Blogspot 2010, and I thought, well, maybe I can archive my stuff on here. But it's nothing compared to what we can do with Hive. You can come in here, you can create a community for 3 Hive, you can post in your community, you can invite your friends to your community, and I don't know why you'd want to do that anywhere else.
Yeah.
Restore the Republic. All right, I found you. So subscribe.
That
I'm going to drop the link to this in the chat as well.
similar thing happened to my friend Sleepy Salsa from the Last Bastille blog. A lot, well, not a lot, but like at least 6 episodes of his podcast that were hosted on Blog Talk Radio. Like the Blog Talk Radio website's still up. They just, stopped posting his content on there, so it's gone. You can kind of find them on archive.org, but it's kind of tough.
Yeah. So Robbie is always a great voice of reason. He does say that it's untrue. Second Life, for example, there's been lots of great decentralized comments or concepts since the internet began. Crypto's not the first good thing on the internet. That's true. But I do consider Hive to be a whole level above Web 2 message boards and social media groups. I mean, I have a whole bunch of groups on Facebook, but I really would love to just bring those people over to Hive because just to see what would happen. Like I'm in some of these groups with like 60,000 people. Imagine if you brought 60,000 people from a Facebook group onto Hive. I mean, it's probably not possible to do in a day, but like if you could even get 10% of that, like bring 6,000 people over from a Facebook group over to Hive community, like that would be cool. True.
Yeah.
We do have to respect the foundation that we've built upon and how we got here with building blocks. And I do think that that's an important discussion to have. Obviously, Leo isn't the greatest thing ever, but I do find it extremely useful to be able to turn my ERC20 tokens into W Leo, take the W Leo, put it on Hive, and put the Hive onto B Leo. I think that's so cool. Yeah, definitely with onboarding, people need to we need to work on onboarding a little bit more. It's still too difficult. There's still too many steps. It'd be nice to have like a one-click option where you can just create an account and then boom, you're in. But unless someone knows how to use block trades, you can't really do that because you can just go to block trades, create an account, boom, within a few minutes your account's created. But it'd be nice.
Yeah, I didn't know about that. I didn't know about that option.
Sign up, click in, type in your username, boom, here's your password, copy paste this, then log in. The easier we make it, the smoother it'll go. So Cub right now, the price is $4.77. And we might see the price drop a little bit more as well. I'm still waiting for the Cub drop. I'm going to check my wallet and see if I have any Cub tokens in here. The best thing to do is Hive Explorer, which is he.dtools.dev/your username. But I can type in Cub Finance and then search. Ooh. We have progress. Okay, 11 days ago, Cub Finance created one Cub token on Hive Engine. 6 minutes ago, Cub Finance received another Cub from the token contract. All right, we are in business. Boom! Okay, so I'm assuming that this means we're going to get the Cub drop soon. I'm going to go into the LeoFinance chat for a second and put this in.
Yeah, I might have missed out on the Cub drop, but at least I'll not miss out on the Project Unknown.
Oh, definitely. Project Blank.
Yeah, Project Blank.
And like I said, you can still buy Cub tokens.
Yeah.
Which is a handy thing. I've been waiting for mine.
Waiting for your order to get filled?
Oh, I'm just waiting for the Cub Hive Engine tokens to hit my account so that I can wrap them and put them onto the... Well, I'm going to pair them. I think I'm going to add my Cub tokens to the Cub BUSD. And each one says LP. So basically, you're creating Leo Power, creating LP out of the pair of Cub BUSD, or Cub BNB, or B Leo BNB. As I said before, you take your liquidity, you create a pair, you add, if you want to do BNB and Cub. You're going to need 4.75836 BUSD for every play. That's the nice thing about the price dropping is that you can compare liquidity and it's not going to cost you as much if the second is expensive. So like right now, if I wanted to pair BLEO and BUSD, no, BNB, no, what am I doing here? I'm just playing around, streaming live on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you hit subscribe, and you also follow the link in the description to the LeoFinance.io website where you can find me at Hive Coffee.
Can you do something like stream simultaneously on 3Speak and YouTube at the same time?
I don't know, but I know that I can upload a video to 3Speak afterwards as long as I use the Hive Coffee or LeoFinance tag. It will show up on LeoFinance when you post it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
what I've been having to do lately is upload to YouTube and then download from Y2Mate, the website, because when I make videos on my computer, they come out as a MKV file, and I can't upload the MKV.
Yeah, YouTube does a fantastic job of converting video files, better than I can do on my end. So often what I'll do is I'll record my, 1 gigabyte video file, and then I'll upload it to YouTube, and then they convert it and shrink the file to like 100 megabytes, which is pretty
Yeah.
And then I'll upload that to 3Speak, because if I try to upload a gigabyte video to 3Speak, it'll take forever for people to play.
Yeah.
It feels like it's 1999 dial-up internet. And if there's something people hate, it's when videos are buffering.
Yeah.
If your videos are buffering, people aren't going to watch. They're just going to click on something else. And I try to keep videos short. Go ahead.
The thing I hate with YouTube is that it stops the video to play an ad that has no, no meaning to you, and then you wait 3 seconds to skip it, and then it's like, okay, well, I skipped the ad, and now the YouTube guy doesn't get that ad revenue from me watching the whole ad.
Yeah, I prefer when a video doesn't start with an ad, but when the ad comes later. So if you keep watching the video, then you'll be more inclined to watch the ad because you already are engaged, and you don't mind waiting 5 seconds to continue listening. But if you have to wait for like a whole 10-second video ad to play, or what I hate is those long ads, ads that are like an hour long, and if you don't click skip, it just keeps playing. Because I'll listen to videos, and I'm like listening to a video, and then suddenly I find I'm listening to like some other random person talk for 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's the problem, where in the 3 minutes into the YouTube video, it starts to play a 2-minute ad. Yeah. I'm just like, I'm just going to skip that right away.
Yeah.
There's no reason for me not to skip it. But the YouTube guy, he's relying on you to watch the whole ad for him to get his payout.
Yeah. And I'm
at least that's what.
Inclined to watch a video ad if it's in the middle of the video and it's like put at a good part where he's like finished talking about something, and then he's moving on to the next thing. I think people who are putting ads in their videos should be more respectful, I guess, of the viewer. I personally did not monetize my YouTube channel because I don't like watching ads. And now I am trying to get my subscribers up to 1,000 so that I could potentially monetize. But that's not that important to me because I'm on Hive.
Yeah.
But like I said, uploading your video to YouTube, letting them convert the file, and then downloading that is an excellent use of YouTube.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm not really doing anything too stupid or whatever, and too unnecessary.
I do that myself. I come in here and I actually had to remove most of my most popular videos when they changed the rules years ago, when they said that you can't have music in your videos anymore. I had to delete all my videos. So that was frustrating. But at least now I can download them from the video manager.
Yeah. So you can download them from the video manager and then edit them from there?
Yep. Edit them, re-upload them, whatever you like. So Cub is $4.75, and I actually just discovered that they have minted another Cub token. So hopefully that means we're going to start seeing the drops soon. It was now 13 minutes ago when the second Cub was created. And if you look at the Cub Finance token tracker on Binance Smart Chain, we can see that there are 304,000 Cub tokens. That's up about 50,000 tokens since yesterday. So these are the tokens that we actually use, and people are buying and selling them on the Cub DeFi, because you can come in here and you can go to exchange, and you can turn your BLEO, which you import from and you can buy Cub. And it's cheap right now. It's cheaper than when I bought it earlier. So if you want to buy one Cub, it's going to cost you 5.08 BLEO. If you only buy one, it's going to impact the price 0.22%. But if you were to convert 509.81 BLEO into 100 Cub tokens, it would push the price up about 0.5%. If you put 5,267 BLEO into 1,000 Cub right now, you would impact the price 3.45%. So I think that's pretty cool. It actually shows you right there what you're going to do if you add all this, if you swap these tokens.
So to get that much BLEO, how much US dollar does that cost? 5,000?
Well, we can figure that out by just using BUSD, because that's an approximation. So if you were to turn BLEO into BNB, that'd be 32 BNB. Oh no, hang on. Sorry. We're talking about, let's just say 10 Leo or 100. Yeah, I mean, Leo's about $1 right now, so I guess it basically, 100 Leo would be about $100, 93. Does that answer your question?
You were kind of cutting out. What'd you say?
So Leo is about $1 right now. So 100 B Leo is about 93.6 BUSD, which is the stable coin on Binance.
Okay.
So if you're trying to buy 100 Cub, you're going to need $477.80, basically.
Okay.
$50 will basically get you 10 Cub right now. It's $4.75. But if you just wanted to use BLEO to get some Cub, you can get one Cub for 5.085.
Okay. What? Can you explain to me what wrapping is? What does it mean when you wrap your Leo?
So what's cool about this? And I'm not saying we can't really say that this is the best thing ever, because it's an experiment. We don't really know what's going to happen. Yeah, some people will probably make some money. Some people might lose some money. We don't know. It's an experiment. But what LeoFinance is doing is a tri-chain cross drop. I think is what they call it, or a triple cross drop. So we have people who have taken their Leo tokens from the Hive engine, and they've wrapped it into Ethereum. Okay, so WLEO is Leo that's been wrapped and put on Ethereum. Yeah, cross
On the
so
what does the term wrapping mean?
it basically is when you take a token from one chain and you put it onto another. You know they're not compatible, so you have to wrap Leo into a WLEO token, which is an Ethereum Leo token. And they've done this on the back end. But yeah, basically it's a buzzword. But wrapped Leo is when you take your Leo from Hive engine and put it onto Ethereum. Then you can put your WLEO into any other ERC20 token, assuming you had the Ethereum to do that, to pay the fee. Now, the advantage of using Binance Smart Chain for the Cub token is that if they did it on Ethereum, the fees would be stupid, right? Like, it doesn't make any sense to use a platform with such high fees for DeFi. Yeah, they did it first, but there are probably a lot of people who can't do anything with their, their farms because they're going to spend more money to cash out than they'll be cashing out. So they've launched the Cub token on Binance, and they've created a wrapped Leo token on the Binance chain as well, and that's what we call DLEO. So we now have the ability to move a Leo token to Ethereum or to Binance. Now, Cub is not an Ethereum token. Cub is a Binance token. But you can take your Ethereum, you can trade it to WLEO, you can spend the Ethereum fee to move your WLEO to Hive, turning it into Leo. And then you can take your Leo and you can wrap it onto Binance so that you have BLEO.
Yeah.
And it's it's just on 3 different chains.
Yeah, coming from like a normal person's perspective on money or whatever, when I hear something being wrapped, it makes me think of like a silver dollar that is wrapped with 90% silver, or let's say 10% silver and 90% copper, or whatever.
So let's talk about fiat for 1 second. I went and made a post a couple weeks ago about how our money is completely out of balance, and I looked up all the things about it and stuff, so I was accurate in the post. But basically, in 1999, they started making steel coins. Steel. Now, steel is not nearly as valuable as silver, is it?
No.
But, I was a kid. I was born in 86, and just looking at the fiat expansion of the money supply, I've lost like a third of the value of my money in my life, at least. Like up until a couple years ago, it was like my money's worth a third of what it was when I was born. But then they started taking the silver out of the money. They took the money out of the money. And now, if you find a dime that, yeah, sure, steel is definitely useful. I suppose it's not as scarce. But if you find a dime from 1966 or earlier, there is $20 worth of silver in there.
Holy fuck.
Or no, not 20, I'm sorry. 2.
Yeah.
2. So every silver dime is worth $2. Sorry, it's not 2.
Are you talking about US dimes?
I'm talking about Canadian dimes and the weight of the Canadian silver in the dime, which is about 80% silver when they did have silver. So 80% of the weight of the coin converted into silver is about $2, or a little bit over $2 the other day. So I've been telling everybody. I told my dad, I told people at the gas station. I was like, make sure you check your dimes, because they're like $2 each. Yeah. So if you found 10 dimes, that's like $20. And so I'm actually a silver bug. I was a silver and gold bug for a long time. Since high school, basically. I've been into gold and silver. When I got out of high school, I made some friends, and one of them is a gold and silver dealer, and he taught me a lot about it. And I started collecting silver coins. I like silver maples. They're 1 ounce of silver. And I basically relate the value of everything to silver. Now, I do this also with cryptocurrency, with Hive. Hive Coffee, I mainly post about the price of Hive and the price of Leo and the price of other Hive tokens and the price of Bitcoin relative to coffee. So how much am I spending on coffee and how much Hive can I be getting with it? And I figured out in that post, like, if you stop drinking coffee and you just buy $2 worth of Bitcoin every day, and then you buy Hive with that Bitcoin, you could get like 2,000 Hive power a year. Easy.
Yeah.
So it's all about where we spend our money and what we spend our money on. And are we putting our money into liabilities, or are we putting our money into assets? And most people these days don't really know how to put things into assets. Like buying property, or they think their car is an asset, and it's really a liability. When we acquire Bitcoin, we're definitely acquiring a type of asset. And that's where I'm going to leave this point here, is that, getting Bitcoin is not a bad idea. And I personally don't think getting Hive is a bad idea either.
What'd you say you don't think is a bad idea either?
I don't think that buying Bitcoin is a bad idea. And I don't think getting Hive is a bad idea either. Staking your Hive, you get to distribute votes. You're earning, like, I don't know, a percentage on your Hive power.
3%.
And that's better than Facebook. You're not getting nothing with Facebook.
Yeah, it's better than your savings account at the bank. 2%, 1%.
My bank is a joke. They think 1% is something to be excited over. 1% a year.
Well, you gotta when you're sitting here in a society, like, you gotta look at what your monetary system is benefiting. Like, all the money that's stored in the banks and stuff, the banks gotta lend that money out through what do they call it? Fractional reserve banking.
Mm-hmm.
They lend that money out to horrible people. Like, the only reason horrible things get to happen in the world is because of fiat currency being able to be fractionally reserved.
Do you remember Alan Grayson?
Hal
Alan
and
Grayson. Sorry, my microphone's a little far away. Do you remember Alan Grayson?
That name kind of rings a bell.
I think he was from Florida, but when the Federal Reserve was printing $800 billion, and then they gave it to foreign bankers, and I forget who it was. Was it? I don't think it was Bernanke. Maybe it was Bernanke, but he was like, we don't know who got the bailout money. And it was $800 billion to start with, because that was like what they thought was a big enough number that could deal with it. But then it ended up being like 1.2 trillion. And I remember he was one of the only people who was asking, who got this money? Like, where did it go? We just $1 trillion, but who got it? And they said that they didn't know.
Yeah.
And that just kind of blew my mind. Like, here I am working to try to make money to pay my bills and live, and the government just, like, creates $1 trillion in the United States and gives it away to foreign central banks, and they don't know who got it. And I know that affects me here in Canada, because all the money around the world is supposed to be our mechanism of trust. It is our consensus mechanism. It is the fabric of our social contract. And if we don't fix the money, nothing else really matters. At least that's my personal political opinion. When I go to a political event and I listen to somebody, I'm thinking, are they going to fix the money? Are they even going to talk about fixing the money? Is this something that's important to this person? And I was very pleased when the Bank of Canada's proper use was brought up several times during a conference with Maxime Bernier, is a conservative who left the Conservative Party in Canada because he saw that they were actually moving far to the left and they weren't really a conservative party anymore, at least not in practice. He was the only candidate who stood up for Canada and Canadians. Every single other candidate on that stage in our last election was a globalist, intent on zero carbon emissions and the destruction of our industries and the like the Green Party, for example, total reorganization of everything on every level. That's what she said. So every candidate except for Max Bernier was up there shilling for global governance and Agenda 2030 climate targets. And Max was like, hey, Canada for Canadians, like, let's put, let's take care of our country, And, well, unfortunately, he didn't win the last election. Everybody voted for the the Conservatives in Alberta, but that didn't make a difference because all the power is in Ottawa, and basically how the East votes is who decides our federal government. So like everybody in Alberta can vote for the other party, and it doesn't make any difference. And that's really sad. A lot of Albertans are feeling disillusioned and disenfranchised by the political system because it doesn't really matter what we want or think. We're kind of stuck in this arrangement that doesn't really work for Albertans. Everybody moves to Alberta to make money, but then they're very happy to leave the status quo as it is. And I've had some very persuasive arguments for Alberta separating and joining the United States. There's been a lot of very persuasive arguments. And likely, we would all start to do better immediately. Yes, it would be very expensive. Yes, there would be trade-offs. Specifically, we would have to pay for health care, and we would have to pay for the army.
Yeah.
And most Canadians would say no.
Let us get our shit in order before you guys secede.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, I mean...
So you don't jump into an already fucked up situation.
The last 4 years has been very interesting to watch from north of the border, and very controversial to even talk about. And now that we have the next administration, apparently, screwing everything up, I wonder what will happen in the next election, because that's only going to be a couple years away. And isn't there like a halfway, like a 2-year primary or something? Or is that...
In America?
Yeah, like does the president get a chance to change after 2 years? Or is that just a halfway Congress thing?
Yeah, I think that Congress and the House of Representatives, the Senate portion, I think those change every 2 years, but the executive, like the governor and the president, they change every 4 years.
Well, I'm all for change. I am open-minded. I'm more than willing to hope that this United States administration is going to do something good. But on my YouTube subscriptions, I get lots of videos talking about lots of different things. And it sure seems like the border guards on the south of the border are extremely unhappy with Biden just rolling back all the changes that Trump did during his administration. Because Trump fixed the border crisis, and now the way that this administration has rolled it back, they're having all sorts of problems again. Migrant children showing up is up. It wasn't before the election, but now that they've just rolled everything back, it's free for all. Migrant children are starting to make their way up again. And there's nothing wrong with people coming into the country legally. That's the big debate, is that like, oh, you must be against immigrants. Well, no, immigrants are not the problem. But if people are coming here to, rob and murder, those people we probably shouldn't let in, or you shouldn't let in, right? Do you think that you should be letting criminals in? People who are trying to enter the country illegally? Is that okay? And it's a big debate, I know, because it is send us your huddled masses or whatever. But that was just a Statue of Liberty thing. Like, I don't think that was even part of the original.
No, I mean, if
send everybody here. No, they were like, we're going to go over here and do our own thing, and we don't want to be taxed.
Well, we want to have representation to go along with our taxes. That's what the thing was.
Okay.
No taxation without representation. It's not, we don't want taxes at all. It's that we want to have a say.
Right, makes sense. But it's like, with the whole issues of like rolling everything back, all these changes, apparently you don't need voter ID anymore for voting. because of what they've done now. So I'm looking forward to going to the United States and exercising my right to vote in the American election. What do you think of that?
Yeah.
Does that
Well, I
affect you?
mean, there's plenty. I think Ted Cruz was born in Canada.
Oh wow.
That's why even the people. That's what's funny. Like the people in the Republican Party, like people like my mom, they're so unprincipled that they'll talk shit about Obama being a Muslim, how he wasn't qualified to be president because he was not born in America, but then they'll endorse Ted Cruz until Trump gets on, and then they're like, oh wait, Ted Cruz is an immigrant. I forgot.
Okay, so let me just throw this out there. Okay, so it would be okay for me to become a citizen of the United States legally, and then participate in voting. But because I was not born in America, I shouldn't run for president of America.
Yeah.
That's about right.
It's a whole the whole argument, I guess, is predicated on the idea of naturalization. So, did you come here and you're like on a visa, or did you come here and you get full citizenship now because you're naturalized and stuff? And I don't know, the wording in the Constitution about who is eligible to be a citizen. I think that they're trying to say that it excludes people who have been naturalized, because they need to be born here. Like you need to be a offspring of a person who's naturalized here.
Right. So I could like become an American, and I could become Ron Paul, and I could like be in Congress and do things like that. But it would be better for my son, who was born in America, to be Rand Paul and run for president.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Oh, it's interesting.
Yeah, it's all.
And I guess because of the precedent of Obama, and we don't have to be controversial about it, it is what it is, right? If he was not an American citizen and he was elected, well then Arnold Schwarzenegger could become president. Why not? Or I could become president, if I had the support.
Yeah.
And isn't
Yeah.
America
Well,
really just like the country of the world? Like in the future, isn't America just going to be the whole planet, and then anybody could be president of America?
I think the precedent is kind of bad for
Tell me why I'm wrong.
for everybody to be America or whatever, because like we need to just be humans. We need to just be world citizens and drop this whole national identity type of stuff, because that, like, the nations basically turns us all into like our little cliques. Like we're all like a gang, and our nation is against your nation.
Definitely.
Tribalism.
It's all tribalism.
Yeah.
And we revert to tribalism when we associate with groups. We say, well, how is Hive not more cliques? Well, I think Hive can unite us, because no matter what community you're on, no matter what front end you use, we're all here on Hive. And I mean, I would still say that I'm a Steam user, except Steam is no longer what it was. It was attacked in a hostile takeover and merely exists as a shell of its former self. And the people who are truly engaged in that platform understand that you cannot trust a centralized and censorship-ridden platform anymore. So now we are Hivers, and I think that ties us together. I don't know if we need to be cliquey between, cryptos tend to be cliquey. People who are like all Ethereum, they're like, oh, Ethereum's the best. Anything outside of Ethereum, it's no good. It's kind of like Bitcoin maximalists,
Yeah, you got the maximalists, which is funny because all they're maximalizing on is the fact that their blockchain can transfer value faster or more efficiently.
with less cost.
And it
Like
has its
that's all they're
merits,
talking
but
about.
we
They're
all
not talking about how
Yeah.
there's a community on here of people, you know, who support it and stuff. Like, it's so cool what Hive has done.
Well, supporting things is good, but supporting things and excluding other things is dangerous because you're going to miss out on stuff. Now, people who are like 100% all in on Bitcoin, they're missing out on other things. And I look at it like all of the coins and all of the tokens, mostly they're attached to projects, and projects are trying to solve problems. There are problems with Bitcoin, and we can all look at Bitcoin and see different things. So we all have to talk and come to agreement on at least, looking at the facts. And we can say, well, Bitcoin has 10-minute blocks. Hive has 3-second blocks. So Hive might be a better tool for things that need to be done faster, but there are still benefits of Bitcoin that Hive doesn't have. So Bitcoin, for example, would be more of a store of value, right? It has volatility, so the price will go up, it'll go down, and depending on if it's going up or if it's going down, you'll want to buy or sell Bitcoin, or maybe do nothing and just hold. No, but they're problems that are being solved by platforms like Hive. Like, okay, I know that potentially you can send a message through Bitcoin, right? You can put, if you know how to do it, you can put a little bit of text in a Bitcoin transaction, right?
Yeah,
Well,
in your memo.
But you're going to spend some Bitcoin doing the fee. The cost of sending one message is not cheap. But let's say you use Hive. You can send a transfer of 0.001 Hive with a memo. Boom! 3 seconds. And if you want to encrypt it because you want to send something private, put a little hashtag in front of your message, and it'll be encrypted, and the other person needs their key. Now, I know you can do that with Bitcoin, but it's not as easy, right? So there's an advantage right there. Hive is better for sending messages. That's just one feature. Now let's talk about.
Well, what you meant to say is Hive is better for sending encrypted messages.
Yes, that too, definitely.
Because you can send messages on Hive for free using the BChat.
That's right. And so there you go. There's another problem that's being solved, right? There are so many advantages to a platform like Hive. But let's say, hang on, I'm getting a phone call.
Go for it.
Okay, we're touching on some very, very good things here, but I don't want to jump around too much at first. What I was getting at is that... Oh, hang on. Hello? There we go. So, we're talking about a bunch of really interesting things, and I don't want to jump around too much for the sake of the people who are on listening. But essentially, I was saying that Bitcoin is obviously the biggest. But then there's all these altcoins. And altcoins are trying to solve specific projects sometimes. Sometimes they're just trying to raise money to create a project, or sometimes their project is inherently crypto, so they're working with a new code or a new algorithm or something. Some coins deal with the privacy issue of Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is not anonymous. Everyone thinks Bitcoin is anonymous, you know? But it's not. It's the opposite, almost. Especially with all the KYC. But Bitcoin is completely transparent. And that's not about it. I think that it would be good to put the government on a public blockchain. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Don't you think it would be great to have the government at least on a public ledger so anybody can go in and say, oh, look, we just spent $6 trillion. Where did it go? You know, how are these funds being spent? Because it's like, hey, we saw that you spent like $5 million. Outrageous amounts of go to the government and filibuster them for an hour and say, you know, we need to stop things. But putting the government on something like Ethereum is probably not the best choice either, right? Because we're still going to have that sync and slow block times. But if you put the government on a private blockchain, that wouldn't be good either. I'm sure they would be very happy to have all of their stuff private, but I think that should be for the people. You know, you don't let people see your bank statements. You don't broadcast that to the world, so why would we want all of our personal transactions to be public? And that's the problem with using Bitcoin as a currency. So being able to use something like Hive, for example, where you're able to convert your Bitcoin into, you know, tokens that are smaller, that are fungible, you can break them down into smaller parts and send tips to people, and you know, you can use all of that. I think that that's a use case for an altcoin that would suggest that maybe most altcoins are not just shitcoins, you know, or at least some aren't.
Yeah, like the way that I look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin is that they're kind of, you know, stored values. I don't understand their blockchains. I've never read their white papers, but the way that I kind of look at it is that if Bitcoin is going to get up to 100,000, I think that Litecoin, or I think that Ethereum will get to 50,000, and I think Litecoin will get to about 20,000. And so I think that they're kind of like the different dollar bills that you have, like a $50 bill, a $20 bill, and a $10 bill. So I think they're kind of gonna be like that, I guess. That's the way that I look at it, I guess. Just, you know, what do you need at the time? Do you need a 50 or do you need 100? Do you need a 20?
Right.
So that's the way I kind of look at it. But then Hive has provided so many more use cases than just stored value and transfer.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Like, I was blown away when I heard the idea of Hive and being able to monetize my online footprint.
Right.
That blew me out of the water.
We're taking control.
Yes.
Taking control of our online content and ownership. Now let's just talk about one more thing before I end this live.
Yeah.
Because we've been chatting for 2 hours here, and that's fantastic. But okay, let's just say that we're all citizens of Hive now. Okay?
Yeah.
We throw off the shackles of statehood and corporatocracy, and we say no to that system. And we decide that we are citizens of Hive, and we are voluntarily participating in this economic model that exists solely on the internet, solely on the Hive chain, essentially, also on, you know, other cryptos. But how would we go about establishing? I'm not exactly getting a committee of safety, and I'm not exactly getting at like just straight up governance on the blockchain. But how can we take our power back and go about establishing a new way of looking at the world? A new way of like saying I'm a citizen of Hive and I give my consent to be part of certain things, right? Like, what can we do to move that direction?
Man, that's a
Can we create a constitution for Hive or some sort of like citizenship for the blockchain? You know, how do we become Bitcoin citizens? People like, I don't know, let's say like Trace Matter, you know, those early adopters who have like millions of dollars in crypto now, they are afforded freedom that other people don't have, you know, because they're rich. But essentially, they're independent now through the blockchain. And how they go about these things is up to them. I'm not going to put words in people's mouths, but I'm just entertaining the idea of like a Hive community that says we are citizens of Hive, and you know, where do we start?
Well, where we start, I think, is by getting in contact with the big Hive witnesses, because the top 30 are the ones who move the ball. And you know, so getting in contact with them as individuals from the community, you know, and kind of making a proposal to them to say that we want to make a constitution for Hive that, you know, deals with governance.
Yeah, I think that sort of makes sense, and I think that there's some governance things that are taking place right now between like PalNet and LeoFinance and the people doing the Hive engine, and these are all independent, decentralized developers. Like, none of these people are really that connected, even when it seems like they're a group of people that are all thinking the same thing. It doesn't necessarily mean that's true. You know, there are some very, very intelligent people who are leading some great projects, and they're all interoperable, which is nice. But I think that we should look at what the governance models are currently being deployed. Hive engine now has witnesses as well. So I think you're right.
Oh, yeah.
If we look to the witnesses and we maybe create a proposal on PeakD, you know, on the decentralized Hive fund, maybe we make a proposal for the creation of a constitution or some, I don't know, we kind of need to work out the details of what the constitution for Hive, like a decentralized Constitution of the United States kind of thing for crypto that basically is like establishing a new society. We don't want to create a new society. We're trying to unplug from society. We're so antisocial. We're so antisocial. We're trying to unplug from society while creating our own society within a non-society.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm not anti-social at all.
Yeah, we're all just having fun here.
Yeah, human beings by nature are social animals.
So we're naturally going to create social organizations all the time.
Exactly.
Whether it's you and your neighbor and you're like, hey, let's have a book club. That's a society. There's people coming together to create some sort of society.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like looking at the Constitution for the citizens of Hive. Like, you gotta first establish who is it for,
and what do we want.
It's
like, how can all of us agree on one thing? I think that's the nice thing about Hive, is that it's an attempt at consensus. You know, it's like,
yeah.
If you read any of Dan's book there that I recommended the other week, he talks about that.
I still need to read it.
Definitely do, because it's not a hard read, and you will be very interested. Chapter by chapter, he breaks it down, and you see that what we're doing with Hive is an exercise in true democracy. It's not true democracy. It's not. It is not true democracy, but it is an exercise in consensus, in new methods of reaching consensus using decentralized tools. And I think it's one of the most important developments of my entire lifetime. Not just Bitcoin,
yes,
but Hive specifically. This is such an important tool, and I'm not trying to overrate it or hype it or make it seem like it's more than it is, because all it is what we make of it. You know, if you want to, I've introduced a number of friends to Hive, and if you're an author and you have an idea for a book, all you have to do is create an account and write a chapter. Then the next day, write another chapter. The next day, write another chapter. Okay? In a month, you're going to have a book. You might even have 2 books. And you're going to have rewards paid out to you for that. You can take those rewards and you can save them. You can keep publishing. Eventually, you could take your rewards and you can go physically publish your book. Then you could put your book for sale on Hive. You could sell a preview book of like the first 3 chapters that you wrote on Hive, and then they can order your physical book, or they can pay you in Hive to get a digital download of your entire book. Like, there's so many things you can do with Hive. And that's what I want to explore on this show. This is Coffee Talk. Coffee Talk is the new name of my show on Hive Coffee, where I live stream on YouTube. And I post on LeoFinance. And I curate some of the best content that I've seen today. And we talk with other Hive users just about the things that are interesting here on Hive. I'd like to thank my guest Matthew for joining me here today. We've been talking about freedom and crypto, and we will definitely chat more in the future.
Hell yeah.
Give us your Hive name or the name of your group, how people can find you.
My Hive name is Unorg Militia. That's supposed to be, showing what the concept of the unorganized militia is, kind of getting that into people's brains. So Unorg Militia on Hive, and then my group that I'm forming is called Restore the Republic.
And that's a Hive
on there as well.
You also have a Facebook group.
Yeah, my Facebook group is called the Aloha Oregon Committee of Safety. And that's the Committee of Safety concept we've been talking about.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm going to end the chat here so that we can, you can charge your phone and finish up your day. I'm going to continue live streaming just for a little bit while I do some market updates. And I will see you next time, all right?
Yeah, thanks for talking with me today.
Have a great day, Matt. Bye for now.
Yeah, see ya.
All right, so I lost this battle because I timed out, but I'll start another one here. I'm just going to take a quick look. Cub is $4.75. It appears that we are still waiting for the token drop. I got it somewhere here. 306,964 Cub exist, held by 452 addresses. Now that is the BEP20 Cub token. The Hive Engine Cub token has begun. It appears that LeoFinance has begun transferring Cub to LeoFinance on Hive. So it looks like it's begun. That is really exciting. I'm going to jump into the LeoFinance chat for 1 second here. I don't know where my post went. Okay, well, anyhow, as I wait, I'm going to continue playing Splinterlands. Mentoid. Alright, I'm playing Tyrus Palladium, Prismatic Energy, Goblin Mech, Mantoid, and Crystal Werewolf. All right, so Leo tokens currently are down a little bit. People are selling, but Leo is worth about 2.779 Leo or Hive, 96 cents right now. We have had $17,000 worth of volume in the past 24 hours as people buy or sell. Cub token is $4.75 right now. And one Cub is about 5.018 Leo. Make sure you check the price for yourself. I am streaming here on LeoFinance. Watch Hive Coffee live this afternoon. LeoFinance. And I've been live streaming for like 2 hours now. Something like that. 3 hours. So today was a bit of a long episode. We just had a great conversation chatting with Matthew of Unorg Militia. Thank you for commenting on the LeoFinance post. Robbie, Jillian Pierce, and Rob23, you all have an entry, another entry for this week's Leo Ball. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to spinning the wheel, finding out who the winner will be. Make sure that you vote on the Leo Ball number 4 as well. And leave another comment with Leo Ball so that you have a second entry. You can actually get multiple entries if you comment Leo Ball on multiple live streams. At the end of the week, I will count all the entries. I will add them to the prize wheel. And yeah, that's about it for now. I'm going to continue curating on Hive, looking for great content. We can pop on over to the overnight page. Here, you can see Bitcoin is trading at $56,538 right now, which is up from not long ago, around 55,000. Top left, you can see that Hive is trading at 35 cents, up 10% today. You can see Bitcoin a little bit more clearly on this page, 56,527, and I'm just going to refresh this one here so that it works. Fiat Leak is a great site that visualizes purchases of crypto. And if you give it 1 second here, you'll start to see all of the transactions pouring in real time into crypto. Now what do we got here? We got Bitcoin, Litecoin, Link, Dogecoin, Tethers, Ethereum, Polkadot, more Bitcoin, more Ethereum, more Polkadot. As people buy and sell Bitcoin, often they buy other tokens as well. And it is a big cryptoverse out there. There are so many tokens trying to solve so many problems. And I'm talking about a token that I'm very excited about called Hive. You can earn Hive simply by signing up for LeoFinance.io. Make a post. Tell us your story. Publish your post and get upvotes. Share that post with your friends on Facebook. Get them to sign up. Get them to vote on your post. This is a social coin. And you can earn Hive and power it up into your account. You can have Hive Power, which fuels the transactions that you can take on the chain. You can also earn Leo tokens, and you can power up those Leo tokens into LP or Leo Power. And you can see here I have some Leo Power. And what does that mean? Well, it means that when I am curating great content, brand new on the chain, like this cryptocurrency storage post, talking about how Hive is close to $1. Oh, that's not the right post. Didn't mean to click that one. This one. New cryptocurrency storage in Germany. This is an embedded video. There's not a whole lot of extra stuff on here, so I would suggest that this user write a little bit more. But this post here, Leo token breaks the $1 barrier. This is in Spanish and English, so very useful, very concise. A little bit about the author here at the bottom. I like this post, but I'm not going to vote on it yet because it was just created 1 minute ago. And if I vote too early, I'm forfeiting some of my curation rewards. But you can see if I were to click, I can distribute 0.004 Leo with 45% of my voting power of Leo tokens. So it'd be about twice that, about 8 Leo cents. 0.004 Leo is what I can distribute with my vote at this moment. So you can see here that staked Leo is about 81.88% of the total supply. And so all that staked Leo is held in accounts, and those accounts can distribute votes worth Leo tokens. Now those Leo tokens get paid out partially in staked Leo and partially in liquid Leo. Only 5.45% of the supply of Leo tokens is liquid and tradable, so that's about 356,901 at this moment. But our market capitalization is over $6 million today, just in Leo. That is impressive. It was like 4 million the other day. So we're up millions of dollars in this token. And if you're looking for something interesting, get yourself some Hive, get yourself some Leo, get yourself some Cub. There are so many cool things to explore and look at, and this live stream on YouTube is simply to share with my audience some of the things that I've been working on and thinking about, and get you to come on over. Follow me, follow Hive Coffee on LeoFinance, and leave me great comments on my live posts. You can participate, you can win prizes, but mostly we can have a great discussion and drink some coffee together. Life is short, and you should share it with people that you care about. And I enjoy spending time with my friends. And since we have not been able to physically spend time with each other lately, we should be taking advantage of the technology that we have that allows us to bridge the connection of thousands of miles from one side of the world to the other. So join the Hive Coffee Discord chat, and I would love to talk to you about Hive, about Hive Engine, about LeoFinance, and any other thing that you find interesting. Let's chat. This is Coffee Talk. My name is Mike, and I'm ending this live stream now because I have been live for way too long.